Welcome back, crew, to session 31 of Occupation. We're getting into our last two sessions, the finale of both the Occupation and Invasion campaigns, with this kind of desperate fight against the Yuzon Vong who have invaded the galaxy, stopping the usual Star Wars factions from fighting each other and turning them against a common foe, or at least most of them. We'll do a little bit of a recap too for kind of where our crew is currently at and kind of everything that's come to get them there. Because the Tafanda Station crew has been opposing the Yuzon Vong. Some of them since before the galaxy even knew they were there, but all of them fighting throughout this war, trying to push back this Yuzon Vong menace who has intruded into the galaxy, invaded their way in, and began decimating and destroying planets, civilization, everything that stood in their way. But the Fonda Station crew has been the ones pushing back, the ones trying to bring hope, retribution, or at least a solid shot against the Yuzon Vong as they've pressed in, doing their best to combat and fight the Yuzon Vong on the planets they may have been on, gather resources to find a station, finding like-minded mercenaries, people, droids, anything they could to enhance their effort against the Yuzon Vong. They pulled those resources together, putting it under one banner, and have seen significant success with it. Taking the planet of Ethor, the planet that initially spelled the doom for the galactic factions initial alliance against the Yuzon Vong, they were able to retake it back, claiming it as their own, and eventually were able to move from there to Mandalore, the planet, which was under siege by the Yuzon Vong, battered, broken with their defenses, hiding, kind of huddled beneath a planetary shield, really only protecting one final city that stood out against the Yuzon Vong horde. The group made their way there to Mandalore, the planet, bringing the Tafanda Station crew and making alliance with Lord Gallivan of the Sith of the Dominion. That they, in return for him adding his Sith destroyers, his Sith resources to their effort to retake Mandalore, they would execute or in some way remove Mandalore the Exalted. Galvin left it up to the crew whether that would be an honorable duel or, as he recommended, knifing him in the back and calling it a day. But the crew was able to take that on, making their way to the planet of Mandalore, fighting through the Yuzon Vong hordes, destroying a planetary gun, and eventually confronting Mandalore, the Exalted, calling him out for his leadership, with Vars and the crew challenging him to a duel of honor. The Mandalore the Exalted accepted, and the group made their way in, fighting against him and his chosen honor guard. And during the battle, for one moment it looked like Vars would be gunned down by the Mandalore the Exalted, but Caesar recently returned from being shaped by the Yuzon Vong and found alive from the rolls of the dead, decided to sacrifice his life to save Vars, keeping what he thinks will be an honorable leader, an honorable challenge alive. With that, Caesar was gunned down by the Mandalore the Exalted, ending the Gungan Butcherer. And eventually Lord Malachi prevailed, eliminating Mandalore the Exalted. I believe Val got the last shot. I forgot what your latest nickname was from that, but you got a new nickname for it, bringing down the prey with Vars doing some really solid rolls. I think a 35 persuasion roll was eventually rolled, and was able to convince the assembled Mandalorians, the elites of their clans, the leaders of their people, that the Exalted way was not the best way, that his methods weren't going to lead their people through this, and that Vars himself should take over. Becoming Mandalore. Did you come up with a nickname for Mandalore? What Mandalore you're going to name yourself?
The Unifier.
The Unifier. Becoming Mandalore, the Unifier, retaking Mandalore, the planet, and
First proclamation. It is Mandayin planet.
I know new canon renamed it, but I appreciate. That's one of the things with Dragon Ball Z I like too. That they name both the planet, the leader, the son, all.
No.
It's funny to me because I feel like it's what most like egotistical warrior leaders do. I'm like, yeah, I'm the ruler. The planet is me. The planet.
I am the planet. I am the people. I am.
Ego sum. I think, therefore I am, and I am this world.
That is where we're going to pick up. You guys have clear and for the Yuzon Vong, I should mention too, because you all fought against the Yuzon Vong above the Mandalorian sector. They were being led by their War Master Vakan Choka, who was on the planet as well. The group. That's how they actually confronted Mandalore. The Exalted, he was initially going to be riding out, trying to take the life of War Master Choka, take out one of the 4 caste leaders that lead the Yuzon Vong. But the group was able to intercept Mandalore the Exalted before that. And while they were able to beat back the Yuzon Vong fleet that was besieging the planet, War Master Vakan Choka did escape, taking with him a sizable portion of his forces. And with that, above Mandalore now, you see both the Defanda Station, your droid fighters, the CC-Ru droids, Iridium, Mutts, all those pieces you pulled together. Though you do see some of the status reports, they got beat up pretty badly during their initial approach when they had to tank the whole Yuzon Vong army on their own. But it's emerged victorious. But one of the things that Vars, it may stand out to you, it may stand out to the other Mandalorians around, is you do see Sith dreadnoughts hovering in orbit around the planet. And no Lord Galvin himself will be making his way there. But before we get to Lord Galvin, before we get to kind of everything that's happened, how is the crew doing with Caesar passing away? I mean, we didn't get much time to really go through that at the end of the last session, but the Gungan that was once dead but then found is now once again dead. How's the crew reacting?
Lars is, well, a bit ridden with guilt. In some ways, he's like, oh, he died for me. Why? Maybe he'll never really know, but he knows that he has to make it worth it. Whatever that means. He'll figure it out later. So, very solemn, and very much a case of, what the hell do I do now? I think he was the only one that really had a close connection with Caesar, because everybody else is like, oh, look at that crazy one-eyed Gungan.
Drinking mouthwash.
Mouthwash. You were using the bottle? Nope. Smells like mouthwash. All right.
I think he did Caesar put liquor in his mouthwash too, though, didn't he? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was both. It was a really minty, refreshing drink.
Or was it mouthwash and his liquor? I guess it depends on the ratio, right?
Yeah. Probably depends on the day, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he liked terrible rom-coms.
You like terrible?
Oh, yeah, he did. I forgot about that.
He had a soft spot for terrible holovids and terrible drinks. And right now, Vars is nursing one in his honor, taking his time with it, debating whether he should just finish it in his honor in one swift pull. But no, taking his time. Is it just Gungan taste buds? I don't understand. Oh.
Because the Mandalorians definitely in Kildabe did set up a little bit of a makeshift cantina for you guys. You probably got a little bit of probably some weird looks when you asked for both mouthwash as well as some strong liquor. But being new Mandalore, nobody's really questioned you twice on that. Uh, Val, before we move on, what was the new nickname you gained uh, from your combat with Mandalore?
Yeah, the
Oathkeeper.
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 Yeah, that was very poignant. Like, oof. Man.
After dealing the final blow to somebody with kind of the reputation of Mandalore, how's Val feeling?
It's a little bit of mixed emotion in that, you know, it's not the same to fight as a group versus if he was just to challenge and defeat the Mandalorian. But I think he would finally kind of stand up a little straighter on the Mandalorians. He knows he respects them as warriors and fighters. He respected the previous Mandalore for his prowess. So to be able to get the finishing blow and strike them down in front of the crowd, yeah, I was pretty happy with himself.
Perfect. And Malachi, I know you probably knew Caesar more by reputation, but being able to retake Mandalore, one of the things that initially broke up the Dominion and the Mandalorian alliance. How's Malachi feeling? He's been successful in his endeavor, taking the planet, taking out Mandalore, and was promised a seat on the High Council for his efforts. How's he feeling?
I don't want to press the issue, but I expect my reward. I held up my end, and Lord Galvin had better pay out, or we're gonna have a campaign 3. You guys don't have to be there. I'll play by myself. It's okay. I'll just be mad. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna. I know how it is. I don't want to seem too eager to eat out of the hand that is feeding me. So I will wait until Galvin sees fit to provide my reward, and with him coming to our location, I mean, it's only a matter of time. As far as I'm concerned, but regarding the Gungan, Malachi doesn't really have feelings towards it. He was a comrade, he was helpful, and he protected our new Mandalore and our new partner and the way forward. So he was key to ensuring our victory, and I can have respect for that. But yeah, I will be. I mean, if there's the cantina and we're there, I'll share in a couple drinks and hear the stories of the Gungan from the time before with the crew before that Var seems to miss considerably. But yeah, Malachi, soaking as always, dark as ever, brooding, needs a tan badly.
Perfect. And while this crew is kind of reminiscing about stories long gone past, drinking, probably have 2 drinks, the Caesar drink on one side and a little bit of a palate cleanser on the other, but able to kind of just go through and reminisce about the times of the past, the Gungan who gave his life for the crew. But while that is going on, we're gonna meet our new person. So I forgot to change it on the stream deck because it still has Caesar beneath your name. What is your let us know what your new person's name is, what they look like, your class. Then we're gonna go into a few pieces before we bring him in.
Alrighty then. We have Sim. He is a Mune, though it could be hard to tell at first glance, due to Mune's reputations for being long and lanky and tall. Oh, he's tall, but he wouldn't be described as lanky in the slightest. Big, bulky, nearly as wide as he is tall, muscle-bound, covered in a carapace of durasteel salvaged from ships. Many Mandalorians can claim the same, but that's melted down and beaten into shape. This is something else, just plastered upon plastered of metal. Doesn't help that on one of his arms, welded to his armor, is what is essentially a small ship cannon. He has one of the older Mandalorian helmets on right now. It's the only one he could really get for himself and keep during these tough times where every little bit of metal counts. He's likely right now be still covered in the grit and grime that could be expected from having to tend to the shield generators for as long as he has, and I doubt he's had much sleep either. He'd still have his tools equipped to his side, a wrist pad to his side as well, a big ass chunk of metal that could be somewhat described as a shield, and he is known for being a bit more on the quiet side, despite his huge. I forget the word, but he's very large. A bit more on the quiet side, verbally and movement. He's got a little bit of a reputation for almost being a hulking beast that tends to lurk in the the inner workings of ships and whatnot. He's an operative of pugnancy, so he can still operate those big, heavy, and huge weapons while having that sneak attack and various skills and expertises.
Nice.
I believe that covers everything.
Perfect. And during the siege of Mandalore, the 2 weeks that you guys were kind of just being bombarded, like besieged by the Yuzon Vong, with them bombing the planet from orbit, and just kind of wrecking hell. What was he doing during that?
Trying his best to make sure the shield generator didn't blow up. Doing his best with whoever would help him. I imagine a lot of Mandalorians would want to make sure that thing keeps running. Of whatever ramshackle and most likely stolen tech they had for the shield generator, just keeping that running. I imagine constantly changing out new parts, constantly having to keep it maintained. At times, like doing everything they could to keep it cool and from overheating. And when something did eventually start to slag, doing their best to recover from that. Just everything and anything he could do to keep Mandalore from falling. And after hearing what Mandalore the Exalted's plan was, preparing to likely go to one of, not his first, but in a long time, one of his first opportunities to prove himself in battle once again. And, well, think a lot of plans are changing on the fly.
And that leads into my next question for Sim. What does he think of the Defanda Station crew? They've been up until this afternoon pretty strong allies of the Mandalorians, assisting Mandalore the Exalted during his invasion of the world ships, coming to their aid during during their hour of need. But then overthrowing Mandalore the Exalted, with a new Mandalore rising in his place.
Okay, so before overthrowing Mandalore, Sim probably looked at the Defanda Station crew like, because he is a clanless Mandalorian. He doesn't really have anyone he's sent where he's needed. If he wasn't needed everywhere and anywhere he could be, he might have joined the crew. But there's a war going on, and there's a lot of equipment to maintain, ships to keep in tip-top shape, and he is a pilot himself, and a good one too, so transporting of goods and keeping them out of enemy hands just kept him so busy. And then this happened, and I definitely say at first he was very worried during the fight, and after Mandalore the Exalted fell, it's just like trepidation, like, oh, like not knowing what comes next. And then Vars's speech, and it hits every point, and it hits hard, and it hits home for Sim, and he is deeply moved by it. Like, yeah, at this point, We need to do what we can to win. The galaxy is on fire. We need to band together. He's been moved, and he looks to this new Mandalore, the Unifier, with respect and admiration.
Perfect. And with that, you see them at the cantina, just kind of having a drink. You see Vars, the new Mandalore. You see Lord Malachi. You see Val, the Hunter of Hunters. You see these three that you've heard stories about time and time again, kind of just kicking back. What does Sim do there?
It'd probably be best to like describe it almost like the camera being closer to the crew, and then from the distance, walking into frame, closer and closer, is the hulking form of Sim. Surprisingly dead quiet, only the slightest tap of his boots, but just the presence still being known because he casts a long shadow. Like, stepping closer and closer, and then he stands next to probably Vars. And there's a solid, probably 15 seconds of just silence, save for like a steady, like vocoded breathing from the mask. And then he take it off, reveal his face, and hold his helm underneath his arm, and he looks nervous, worried. And it's not the face of a grizzled veteran, it's the face of a young man. Probably early 20s, if not just before that, 1920. Immune. Still got a little bit of battle damage on there, be it from machine or monster. And he'd speak up, and he'd go, Sir, Mandalore. Mandalore the Unifier. You do not know me, but I am Sim. I've worked hard to keep the shield generators intact during this bombardment done by these invaders, these Vong. It took a lot to convince the Mandalorians who were keeping an eye on me to let me go out and join Mandalore the Exalted in this mission. I am clanless, and I'm not really known for my honor. I ask to join your squad in whatever you do next. I know you don't know me, but I'm capable of a lot, and if I can do anything to help, I will. And he hold up his Hulkin, like the big ass gun welded to his arm, something that would normally take someone 2 hands to just wield and then deploy. He just lifts it with one arm and just points to it. I have the firepower. I got some shielding with me. I don't have any meds or grenades, but I'm as durable as they come. They call me strong as a bantha. I'll do what I can.
I'd say banthas are nearly as strong as you. Is that a prop? Or are you actually just waving that thing around?
Here. And he'll, like, after a second, the fiddling will slide off his gauntlet and let you try and hold it. It is a blaster cannon.
Yep. Mars obviously still didn't almost believe it, but the size of him and the heft of it, he will pass it back.
Strength requirement of 19.
Thankfully, Mars is a little bit above that, so he's not, straight up embarrassed. Like, oh, geez. But,
be a bad day one for Mandalore.
Yeah, right. Wow, you just carry this thing? No, it's like, wow. And you were on top of that. You've got the intellect to work with shield generators and apparently keep them running. I from what I understand, the one in this city was not rated for the bombardment that the Vong threw at it.
We have a lot of good people doing their best to keep it running. I was one of them. And let me tell you, Mandalorian grit. It fought just like we would. It did well.
Well,
I've worked some of my own tech with shielding into. He puts the blaster back on
Yeah.
uh, into my gun. Some of my fighting style. I'm good uh, at deflecting damage that comes in. Bullets, energy, doesn't matter. I can keep it down. I can keep it shielded.
Easy. You got the job, son. It's fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mandalore.
Malachi just takes a sip and is like,
What? Try to lift that, and I don't mean using the force.
"Oh no, Mandalore! I can tell how heavy it is. It's just you certainly attract the best of the best.
Well, you're here.
I'm counting among one. Yes, you stole my words. Look at you, making me smile. Must be liquor.
Yeah.
Or I like you.
Making Sith smile. Yeah, that's the unifier for you. I am still not used to this whole Mandalore thing. But I'll see if we have a chair that can manage you, and then you can pull it up. We can get to know each other just a bit better.
All right. Allow me to grab my shield. And he'd run out for a second and run back. He seems faster than most people, just both from the gait of his legs and also just the sound of, like, I don't know how to describe. Muscled Menace gives +5 speed. And he'd come back with a physical heavy shield. So a damn huge shield, nearly as big as him, in the other hand.
Maybe we should find a bench. All right. Well, seeing that you're clanless, and at the end of the day, it seems like defend the station, fight in Mandalore, and the Mandalorian. This is so confusing. The Mandalorian people's fight is going to be one and the same. Yeah, let's try to get you up to speed. But for now, I'm mourning an old friend. He's gonna pick up one of the amber-colored, like I guess the frothier of the two. Take a sniff, grimace. Crazy one-eyed bastard. Throw it back. Give it a, and then swallow it. And he'll gesture for him to carefully sit down.
Sim would sit down and it wouldn't make any noise.
You're able to gracefully take a seat. You kind of have like a little while to connect, share some drinks, kind of start to learn about each other. But Vars, one of the things you notice, or you all have noticed, you see a Mandalorian in kind of this beat up green and yellow armor. Val, Malachi, Vars, you recognize them as Commander Velku. Vars is kind of usual contact upon the planet. You see him walk in like he's about to say something, and you hear just this screeching howl of engines. Like, no roll necessary. You guys hear, this is like definitely galactic craft. It sounds like an engine that is souped up on a pretty well maintained ship with somebody buzzing low on the city. Somebody buzzing low and intentionally making themselves loud and heard as they kind of go low, engines blaring as they fly kind of low across the city, drowning out the noise of kind of the reconstruction efforts, drowning out the noise of some of the first aid and kind of regrouping efforts. It just hear this roar and screech of engines overhead.
All right.
You wanna get that under control? Can't hear the music.
Yeah. Before we get to that, Commander. It's Commander, right? That's its rank?
Commander, yeah.
Commander. You seem like you've got something on your mind.
You kind of see him tilt his head and goes, yeah. Mandalore, I guess? No, I mean,
I guess.
Griffin
Yeah.
Orc Sharp before you reported me now.
Relax, I'm not going to have you flogged for making a mistake. I don't care that much about titles, but please, continue.
Well, I was calling to tell you about the shuttle coming down, but see, you've already heard.
Mm-hmm.
Deployed from the Sith Dreadnought.
Any idea where it was heading?
To our landing pad in the city, not too far from here. We asked it for its flight path. No one responded.
If this is Galvin just flexing, it's not a good start to a friendship. But
Does this seem like something that Lord Galvin would do?
Malachi's interacted with Galvin a lot. It depends. Usually he likes to be conciliatory, kind of negotiating, but he does like to flex power when he feels power needs to be flexed.
yeah. Well, I suppose we should go meet our friend. At least, I hope he's still our friend.
Commander Velko kind of falls in line with you guys as you make your way outside of the cantina, heading towards the kind of the little makeshift landing pad in the center of Keldabe. And you see around it, kind of like it's gathered a crowd so far. Nobody's departed from the ship as of yet, but you do see that a crowd of both civilians and some other Mandalorian warriors have started to kind of coalesce near the ship. But eventually you do, as you approach, you see the ramp go down, and then two Sith warriors lead the charge, not charge, but lead the procession out. They are in the immaculate crimson and gold armor of the Dominion, capes flowing behind them. They walk out first, followed by two Dominion kind of commando troopers, followed by Lord Galvin himself. You see the Natolan Sith is decked out in his kind of finest gold and crimson, with the symbol of the Dominion, the great dragon breaking its chains, emblazoned upon kind of pretty much across his chest. And you see him walk out, flanked again on the behind him as well, with two Sith warriors and two troopers in the back. And you see him coming down. And as he sees you all approaching, you see him kind of open his arms and he goes, Varzo. Oh, no. Mandalore. Long live Mandalore. This is a day I did not think would come. As I said, you were my friend, and I wanted you, my friend, to be elevated. How does power feel, old friend?
I haven't been in possession of it very long to be able to give a good answer. But I feel potential. I feel there's a chance to right many wrongs from my predecessor and to unify us all in a common goal. Hence the title.
That is what I wanted to hear, old friend, to be unified, to be one force like we were before your predecessor's mistakes, to welcome me back into the fold.
I will proudly stand with you as an ally.
Well, yes, an ally. You will always be my ally. For some, all heads must bow. And even I nod my head when forced to by one of a dominating nature.
Well, until then, but what can I do for you? I do wish you would have notified us. We would have tried to find a nice wine or something. We're tidying things up after the Vong's siege.
Varja people are good at very many things. Winecraft, not so much. But we're on the war effort. You've been successful today, though not as successful as I would have hoped. My scouts have told me that War Master Vakan Choka survives. Malachi? I thought we had a plan.
We did, and the priority of securing Mandalore and a new Mandalore overcame that one.
Distressing.
But they will run, they will hide, and we will find them.
What my intelligence says, and I know they must be mistaken, but they said that Exalted or the Fallen Mandalore wanted to kill War Master Choka, but you all stopped him before doing so? They must have made a mistake.
They did not. He wanted to lead what was left of our forces in a suicide charge.
Could have had a dead War Master. Throw the Vong into disarray. But who am I to complain about spilled milk? 2 out of 3 aren't bad.
No. I suppose it's not.
Well, part of why I came down to foresee this new acquisition, as well as you, risen up to where you should be. But we've received a missive from the former Supreme Chancellor of the Republic. Oveno has news, and he wishes to convene with all of us. So, I wanted to bring that to you personally, to let you know that he wishes to meet outside. He kind of gives you these coordinates, kind of probably about 3 days hyperspace route near the core, near Coruscant, but kind of like it's almost like in the middle of nowhere in Coruscant, like kind of in the space around the deep core near Coruscant. And he goes, Ovado is assembling there. As I believe he told you last, they've learned that the Supreme Overlord of the Yuzon Vong has decided to make his way to Coruscant. And that coward is going to capitulate to him. We find a chance to... You've already eliminated one of the Vong's leaders by capturing Master Shaper and Nimien. One slipped your grasp, but if we can take out their overall boss, it could be a crippling blow, or at least cause some confusion for them. But as I said, we're bringing all forces and assembling in that corner of the galaxy. And of course, you knew Mandalore and the Define the Station crew are most welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Very nice of you to come in person and tell me this. But must be strange times if a former Republic Chancellor can summon a Sith Lord to a meeting, right?
You see he smiles, but you definitely see a little bit of a flash to his eyes, and he goes, summon. Every tool has its use. You're a leader now. You will learn this. I hope you will learn this, or you will fail. But every tool has a use every person a function, every death a meaning. Words of a leader to one leader to another.
I can appreciate that, and I thank you for your wisdom. Barge is going to get really close and tell him, you do best to view me as an ally, not a tool. I can be a great friend or your worst enemy.
Give me an intimidation check with that one.
Oh, I'm not good at intimidation. I'm not trying to be intimidating, really. It's just, look, man, just play it cool, baby. Just play it cool. All right. Yeah, I have no bonus to intimidation. I'm a friendly fighter.
You are the party's face somehow.
Yeah, I've got a +8 to persuasion. I tried rolling it. I don't know if it went through or not.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I refreshed. Maybe that'll do it.
Oh, let me refresh too, just in case it's mine.
Oh no, I got
gotta
a
ask, with no modifier, is it possible?
Let's go and see how it rolled. How do you say it rolled? Oh, it rolled 4.
Yeah.
You see, he smiles and he kind of leans in, because in a similar tone, and he goes, I do appreciate the bluster, but as I've said, you've saved my life. I consider you a friend. I also consider you an ally. And soon we'll consider you a member of the Dominion once again. But for now, friend, ally, warrior gets to use on long, inspiring tale. Listen, I always repay my friends. You saved my life, you rule a people. No debt goes unpaid. No debt. Good or bad. But he goes, this is depressing talk. You've won the day, you lead. Well, before I go though, Malachi, I would like to confer with you just for a moment. And Vars, get these, or Manlaw, clean up around here. You see him kind of crack a smile before kind of walking towards Malachi.
It's on our to-do list.
Sim would, after hearing both the cleanup around here, he'd start looking around, and then it's on their to-do list. You'd see him start to go to like aid some crews and cleaning up.
No, Sim, that was a joke. It's okay.
Sorry, Mental. Sorry.
No, you don't need it's.
As Lord Galvin approaches, Malachi will bow his head low. Lord Galvin, what can I do for you?
I'm glad to see you've made it through, Malachi. I feel your powers have grown.
Significantly. In fact, the last 24 hours I feel more powerful than I have since you know.
We all have our defeats. You've used it to make you stronger, so it evens out in the end. And let me hazard a guess on why the War Master still lives. Vars demanded to fight him honorably. He wouldn't just... would he?
That is the case, in fact. However, while I was against it at first, I would have to say it was the best course of action. None of Mandalore would stand behind him if he hadn't done it the way that he had.
Dreadnoughts often make people fall in line, but the Mandalorians are a stubborn lot.
Indeed they are. And I'm happy to stand at the side of this Mandalorian and help him in this endeavor. I cannot predict what would have happened had we allowed the previous Mandalore to go through with his plan. Perhaps it would have been more difficult for him to take the position with the victory of securing or defeating the warlord. This gives us an opportunity. It gives Vars an opportunity to prove himself the better Mandalore, and also, as you have so delicately already said, an ally. What are your plans with the Mandalorians now?
Well, just as I told Voss. For now, we are friends, we are allies, and eventually he will bow his head to Dominus and rejoin the Dominion. Brought there by us.
His name might be the Unifier, but I'm not sure that he'll be so quick to heal. And I couldn't blame him. I feel that there's going to be a lot more ahead of us before that situation takes place. There's a lot of politics, of course, that are going to be involved, and you will, of course, need my help. I am experienced in this, as you well know, and I think it's fine time that I have risen from the depths that I have fallen so far into. And I will say, despite all the grievance that I have caused you in the past, this is not an apology, but rather a thank you to you, my Lord Galvin, for supporting me in your own way and making sure that I stayed on my 2 feet. And I kind of looked down at my prosthetic. But again, I thank you for making me realize that what I lost could be found again. And I have found it again.
The only true power you can ever court is your own. I'm glad that you rose from your depths to reclaim your power. Especially, the Vong should not humble a Sith. Be the Sith high or low, we humble those who come against us. But as I said, I promised you some reward, didn't I, for retaking this planet for me? What was that? Was it a ship? What did I promise you, Lord Malachi?
Well, Lord Galvin, I would expect that a ship would come with the position on the Dark Council.
Well, I guess we could make it.
Nothing fancy. The more firepower, the better.
Darth Dominus did agree to allow you under the High Council, under my mentorship. We will be as one as we have been, and we'll continue to grow our power.
I accept this partnership.
You see, he kind of brings out an emblem, like kind of reaching into his cloak. You see kind of the same emblem he's got emblazoned across his chest, the great dragon kind of breaking free of its chains, but this one is typically it's kind of like the green and golden chains. This one, though, is with the black, gold, and crimson kind of just coloring throughout, kind of signifying the place on the Dark Council. And you see him kind of holding his hand and then kind of with a gesture, kind of hover it over to you, in front of you in the Force. You're muted.
I don't know if this would look awkward or not with, two of the Force users going. But yeah, I will snatch it out of the air as well. Kind of like bring my hand towards it and pull it the rest of the way into my hand and inspect it before I kind of place it in the same way that Lord Galvin has as well. Thank you, Lord Galvin, and I will bow.
You see him give a nod in return. He goes, "You've risen. There's more to rise to. But for now, we must deal with these just meddlesome Yuzon Vong before we can reclaim the galaxy in the Dominion's name. But I must make preparations for our summit. But do not worry, you won't be on your own here. Leaving a few dreadnoughts to protect our new friends and allies. Their fleet got horribly decimated. I'd hate for the Vong to return. I bid you adieu, High Lord Malachi."
Should you need anything, Lord Galvin, don't hesitate to reach out.
I will not. And you kind of see with that, you see him turn his kind of little military progression of sort of warriors, troopers, kind of following or flanking him on either side as he goes and makes his way back up to his starship, which kind of does once again another low pass across the city before making its way back up to the dreadnoughts in orbit. Eventually, you do see one of the dreadnoughts wink out of existence, but 3 of them still stand above the planet.
And I will have definitely watched the entire time, all the way from entering the shuttle to him flying up to the atmosphere, out of the atmosphere, into too far to see, and watching the dreadnought fly out before. I will kill him. And then I'll walk back to Vars.
Is he wearing that medallion?
Yeah, I'll be wearing it. How did you say it was placed? It's just on the center of his chest, or
Yeah, you can put it either the center or kind of like to the either side.
Okay, yeah, I'll copy Galvin for now, just because I mean, it's probably the nicest thing that's on me right now. Yeah, everything on Malachi is just torn to shit, burnt to shit, broken to shit. It's all tatters. I don't even make an effort to replace it. Actually, it's the second nicest thing, because the other nice thing that I have are the boots that allow me to walk on all the things. So, so I got these nice shiny boots, one on my real leg and one on my prosthetic, and then I got this medallion now. So, woo! But yeah, I will make my way back to Vars and take a place on his right side at all times. Wherever he goes, I'm right there, and I will be silent and kind of thinking about that engagement, because my thoughts are just it is constant backhand congratulations and compliments and rewards from Galvin, and an ascension, but with a ever-present person that has to hold my hand or watch me or be next to me. I am not my own. I still have to be mentored. And I find it infuriating. So I will use that to bolster my power even more.
Is that symbol like a very obvious I'm on the Dark Council because look at my thing, or is it just like, hey, nice Sith thingy?
Probably for those who've not served with the Sith, it just kind of looks like a nice Sith thingy. But Vars, you were part of the Mandalorians when they were part with the Sith. It's definitely something that's exclusive to their High Lords.
All right. Well, so just as soon as he sees Malachi with that, just unfiltered, holy shit! You're on the council?
To be honest, I was not expecting it to be. I wasn't expecting to be appointed so soon. I thought it would take longer. But yes, and it seems with strings attached, as you can imagine.
Yeah, Galvin loves his strings. But
The Sith love their strings, and I appreciate it. Congratulations all around to us. We're all being played, and we're all pieces and tools, as we've been indirectly told a few times now. I agree with them, but there is. Before I met you and the rest of our crew, I'm no stranger to leading people into battle. And who else is around us right now? Is it everybody, or is it just?
I think Sims was pretty close to Vars before, and I'm Val. I think so. Is Val around?
Yeah.
Practicing his sword fighting. It's like,
Okay.
this is a lot of talk.
Working. We're doing it with his left hand now. You know, you gotta balance these things out. Before I met all of you, and we created this try-hard crew that was held together by nothing, but a lot more now, of course. I led many into battle, and one of the last things that ever happened to me, almost right before you met me, or before that meeting on Tafanda Station, I lost everything in one battle. The scars that you've seen many times that I've mentioned, that I've talked about, the Vong took everything from me. They diminished my power. I lost my will to fight. I lost so much. I had all the hate in the world, all the hate in the galaxy, and it still didn't muster even a fraction of what I am now. And Galvin has created one of his greatest enemies. If he attempts to force you, I will do everything in my power to attempt to force him back. Just know that I stand with you. And I think I have people that I can reach out to. But I know, and I can see, I don't know if do you get your helmet on?
Let's say that as part of the holy shit, the helmet came off. Because, aren't you like 21? What I remember, he looks like dog shit because of the Vaughn, but he's a young kid, right? He's fairly young, no?
No.
Because I remember initially.
Let me look at my sheet, but I want to say that I'm late. Oh, I closed it when I restarted. I want to say that I'm late 30s, so I would put Malachi around like 35 to 37. I mean, I've been in it to win it for a while, man.
Fair enough.
Lasted 100% longer than most people in this career.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there was a point that I was trying to make, and I've kind of gone down a hole there. But you have my support. This was a hard won battle. You have made decisions that I have not agreed with whatsoever, that I just followed you into, and in retrospect, they were the best decision that could have been made at the time. And under that pressure, that is what I used to be. And following you has instilled this discipline back into me. It has instilled and revitalized the part of me that I have lost. And Galvin has given me back everything on top of all that. My power, my will, my fight. You know, the crazy part about all this is that, like, I love the generated art that I made. I'm this like mean looking dude, but my eyes are not furrowed right now. My eyes are not angular and by eyes I mean the sunken void sockets that I envision that Mariluka have. Because I am also not wearing my mask, which might be a little unsettling. But my countenance are very relaxed. I don't know. I'm being very informal and very transparent, we'll say.
Yeah.
Very heart to heart to all of our crew, even the newbie who has yet to prove himself, and I'm completely happy to shoot lightning through as long as it hits at least 10 other enemies on the other side. So
Well,
you might even be the conduit of force chain lightning.
I mean, all that
Should you
metal,
get so lucky,
just is begging for it. But
right? It's a conductor. But Malachi will just stop and kind of pause and also come to the realization that he just overindulged in so much sharing, and not necessarily like feelings, because we don't do that, but more like just a deep honesty that even he himself is surprised that he would give such a clear answer versus the crypto type things that you have to decipher when a Sith talks. Did he mean that? You don't have to ask if I meant it. You can tell.
fair enough.
You can see Val just kind of taking this all in. And so Val will kind of come up and kind of seeing the way the other Mandalorians would treat you and see now how the Sith treat you. You come up and you go, Val had assumed that. You'll pause and you'll say, Mandalore was an honored warrior. Val had hoped to strike you down to gain honor, obviously, for Val. But now Val has seen you're not an honored warrior. You are a revered one, a servant. There is no honor in striking down a servant, but there is honor in defending the life of a servant. Val thought you should know this.
I'm just some dumb freaking grunt. Why the hell am I inspiring the loyalty of an assassin, the Sith, a Gungan?
Sim, breaking his silence the whole time, finally moving from where he was standing like a statue before. He goes, for what it counts, Mandalore, you've inspired me.
Kind of as Sim pipes up, Val actually kind of gains a smile back, cocks a little smile, and goes, Val shall watch you, Sim. Maybe you shall be an honored warrior.
Mandalorians would say otherwise to that.
I guess I don't get to be just a dumb grunt anymore. It was easier, but
This is the burden of power, and you suit it well.
nah.
Trust me. I wouldn't follow you if you didn't.
Well, I'm grateful for your loyalty and friendship. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that it is well earned. He's almost getting a little like teary. He's like, he really doesn't know what the hell to do with himself. He's like, Mandalore? Me? You sure?
Out of character. I just want to congratulate Val's thing there saying you are a servant and you are revered. God damn.
Yeah, man.
That was cool because I was worried. I was interested. I was curious to see if Val was at the end of this could be like, okay, we've got to a good place to the Vong. Var is a square up. Let's go.
All right. Put up them dukes.
That was the plan.
I want 2 Mandalores under my belt.
With that, Sim again will break his silence and say, I believe we were called to meet with the former Supreme Chancellor?
Yeah. I'll issue some instructions for the reconstruction efforts. Maybe some.
Can you guys Oh, sorry, man, cut you off.
No, that's fine. Maybe some
And
recruitment.
you guys do
efforts.
have some time to, because the spot he's meeting you is 3 days from Coruscant, but the time gave you, so you still have like a few days on planet before you need to take off with the Defanda Station fleet. And that's we're gonna do a couple things before we jump off and meet with Oveno. The first one, Val. Where do you keep your stuff on Defanda Station? Is it all in your room, or how does Val deal with stuff he's acquired?
Yeah, it would be all in his room in the Defanda Station. He would consider pretty light. Everything he owns could probably be carried in a backpack. But yeah, it would all be in the Defanda Station.
Val, when you finally make your way back to your room after this grueling day of taking Mandalore, dealing with Sith politics and kind of everything that entails, you kind of hear like this almost squawking coming from your room, just like this repeated like squawk, kind of coming from your room, just echoing out through.
Yeah, so he kind of cock his head to be curious, and then he just kind of walk in and open the door.
As you open the door, you see kind of, and actually I'll just ask this, for the Villip that you got from your Shaper friend, where did Val store it? I can see Val put it in a spot of honor. I can also see him just like have it like under the bed somehow.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So he keeps his things very tidy. So he probably wouldn't care for it much, but he wouldn't just throw it because he wouldn't want it just like laying on the ground. Yeah, so he'd like keep it up on like, I don't know, like maybe a dresser or a desk. But yeah.
You see this Villip pulsing and kind of hear the squawk coming from it as like this large orby kind of fleshy thing, fleshy orb just kind of pulses and you see light flickering amongst it.
Oh, I apologize. That's the suit, right?
Oh no, the Villip is the communicators.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it would just be up on a desk. Yeah, so he would go up, and Val isn't. He's not the brightest. Technology isn't his thing. So he'd just walk up and he'd be like, Val says hello. Not even know, like, assuming like he's talking to somebody.
You see kind of the orb pulses for a moment, but especially as you get closer, as your body heat kind of nears the Villip, you see it envelop, and you see it kind of turn into, or kind of like project the form of Vralik Val, the shaper that was once shamed, that you all encountered during the world ship, the invasion of the world ships, who you helped verify that the shapers had poisoned him, causing his implants to fail, almost mimicking the shame one status that he had taken, allowing him to get his revenge upon the shaper that did that to him, as well as find the cure for himself. You see kind of his face fill the Villip, and you see before where it looked like his skin was decaying and sloughing off, where it looked like the implants that he had in his eyes and his fingers were rejecting his body. He looks healthy. He looks intact. And you see kind of his scarred visage fill the screen with the ritualistic tattoo swirling around his face. And you see him just grunt out, "Hunter of hunters, how fare you?"
So Val would give him a little bit of nod and say, Val, fares well. It is good to see you, honored friend.
"I've heard of your recent victory on Mandalore. Well fought."
Val has earned great honor. Thank you.
"Since I've seen you last, I have spread the news that the Vong, views on Vong that lead us do not always operate with the honor of the gods, that they poisoned me and that they have probably poisoned others to make us shamed. I've told them as well of you, hunters, the warrior that fought with honor, that eschewed the heretic magics that your kind cling to in this galaxy, the Jedi, the Sith, that eschewed the blasters and technology that the Mandalorians and others cling to, that fought with blade and fought with heart and fought with honor. I have news for you, but do you still keep to your ways?
Yes, Val keeps to his honor, but honor can come in many shapes. Val may disagree, but you can still be honorable and fight in ways that Val disagrees. But Val maintains his honor, yes.
You see him nod, and he goes, I have preached all of this to the shamed ones, the ones whose honor, whether by birth or by trickery from the leaders, has been stolen. I have forged them into an army. And I'll pause here because you guys actually did learn a little bit of this too before. When Horace died, when you guys found that other shamed one on your retaking of Ethor, you did mention that the shamed ones have been, there's been, actually, he both, the shamed one you found as well as Master Shaper Nemyen had mentioned that there'd been kind of discontent brewing among the shamed ones.
Yeah, I thought it was just rumblings, not, we have an army of freaks.
Well, the shamed ones are their servants. I mean, they're the ones that like they're the ones that pretty much do work for the Vong. That the ones that the work that isn't either military or fighting or building or like creating, I should say. They're the ones that build. They're the ones that dig. All of the grunt work is done by the shamed ones.
Man, Rutro.
Yeah. You see, Val almost snarls a little bit when he hears that, that your honor would be stolen at birth, and you just Val does not understand. You must earn your honor through your life. One cannot take it from you. If this army wants to earn that honor, how can Val help?
We would aid you in removing our leadership. We need to equalize the playing field and remove those who have behaved without honor. We need to balance the stakes and let, as we've said, everyone earn their own honor, and let the Yuzon Vol follow the true path of the gods, not the path set by those above us.
Holy shit.
Oh. Val. Oh. Val has a question for you. Would you be willing to fight with honorable warriors that use weapons that you disagree with?
For a time.
Val has learned that different people have different ways of showing that honor. Yusong Vong have theirs, Val's people has his, but I can take this to someone that I truly respect, Mandalore. If you are willing to fight for him and with him, I will vouch for his honor.
We will fight with you. We will fight with those you have deemed honorable until the balance is made and our leaders have fallen, and then a new path can form. once that has been made, the future will bend to where it goes.
Val nods. Val can agree to this.
Tell your friends, tell that to Mandalore. Those who've been called shamed, stand ready. Those who've been called shamed, the ones that cook the food, that clean the rooms, the ones that gather their weapons, build their structures. We stand ready, and we stand unnoticed.
Val has one. He kind of pauses. He's never really used this word before. He goes, favor. There are other ones that have honor, that have that honor taken because of birth. Val has promised that I would lead them to freedom. They are the Puek. When this is over, Val will ask on you to help restore the Puek. They are an honorable people who have never had a chance to earn that honor.
Who has stolen their honor from them?
Yes, you will meet them soon.
Oh shit.
You see, he nods and goes, what can you tell us of our enemy?
Yes. Val does not understand, except their essence is stolen and turned into machines that are used for weapons on the battlefield.
You see his eyes flare, like eyes flare, kind of like scars, like strain as his face breaks into a grimace, and he kind of bellows out, "That cannot stand. We will aid your Puek. We will eliminate that abomination once we have brought the Yuzon Vol to our new path."
When Val agrees, Val will stand with you.
You see, he kind of nods and kind of snaps both of his arms across his chest, and he goes, "Let us know when the time is right." And you see the Villip furl back into a ball.
I can't overstate or understand. Words fail me at the moment of how absolutely perfect all of that was. Perfect. I applaud you both. God damn.
Them T-Rex is gonna get what's coming to him.
No, the moment you started to bring up the prank, I was like, oh, and then, oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're gonna resonate with that. Oh, yeah, they just turn them into machines. Ouch, that's disgusting.
And so to finish that off, Val, just without like breaking stride, just starts going through his normal routine. He's not worried about going and telling anyone anything. He's taking off his weapons, cleaning them, making sure his uniform is nice and clean. Just his normal thing.
I can imagine just casually over a meal, bringing it up. Like, by the way,
Just had breakfast the next day,
Yeah.
but hey, you would never guess who called. You never guess.
you'll never guess.
But I do like too that Val. I think Val's like the only one that like pays attention to like his armor and uniform. Like, 'cause Val wears white in the battle, doesn't he?
That's a lot of bleach.
Hard to get all that blood.
Yeah. Good thing with VARs, it's just all right. Who's got a pressure washer?
Like I imagine that's like the one indulgence the Huts have for him is just like a new stream of uniforms like each time. Perfect. So we're gonna go and get into the next piece. We're gonna take a quick 5-minute break. So everybody come back 8:55, and we'll get into the last half of this adventure.
Yeesh.
Hell yeah. Oh, this is. I don't have words other from yippee, and I applaud you all.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Shit.
We'll be right back, everyone. welcome back everyone to part 2 of our the second half of our first part of the occupation finale, as we bring the story told from invasion to occupation to a close. The group has just taken Mandalore and each had a little bit of a moment to well, either introduce themselves in Sim's case or kind of wrap up a few loose ends, earning titles, earning new allies as we come to the close. But you've heard that Supreme Chancellor, or the former Supreme Chancellor of the Republic, Oveno, has called a summit. Last time you saw him was after freeing him from a Yuzon Vong prison over Ethor, and he was kind of went along with the Jedi to see kind of what he could do to try to bring as much of the Republic's apparatus back into the war effort, linking back up with the rebellion, bringing the Jedi, and kind of seeing what he can do to disrupt what's going on. With that, you guys are able to spend a few more days on Mandalore as they are getting your ships ready, getting kind of repairing some of the damage that defined the station, its allies, all of that had taken during this slugfest that was the retaking of Mandalore, along with some of you getting used to new roles. Malachi, you're getting inundated with new briefings and reports with your new position upon the High Council, with Galvin sending you a lot of new information that would have been classified to your level before. Val, you're able to kind of coordinate a little bit closer with Vralik Val, and kind of see more about kind of what these shamed ones are capable of and kind of where they were stationed. And Vars, getting used to the command. People are looking at you for kind of what they should be doing. Anywhere you go, like questions upon questions upon questions. People looking to you for orders, direction, guidance. Pretty much everywhere you set foot upon the planet.
Yay.
And Sim, you're kind of caught up in the maelstrom here. You're recent joined to define the station crew. You see the station is buzzing. You see these crazy looking droids aboard it. The CC-Roo war droids have joined the fight. You see refugees. You see refugees that have been armed to fight, trained, armed, and ready to kind of lead themselves into battle. You see a mix, like a just torrential flood of just stolen gear that defined the station acquired from the Mandalorians to arm these refugees and have them join the fight. It just the chaos, the controlled chaos that the Defanda Station crew has built themselves into. You see them all kind of preparing for the latest war effort. Before we bring you guys to the summit with Oveno, is there anything else you all want to do?
Real
I
quick,
think we need med
live?
packs. Want some med packs?
You could definitely buy some med packs. Val, I couldn't hear what you said.
Are we back live?
You are live, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be real. Sim does not have any money. Heavy armor and big weapons are expensive when it comes to character creation.
Yep. Did we, aside, it's funny, Mandalore, the unifier, is broke. God is so broke. Anybody want to buy my old gloves?
The funny thing is,
So-
like, ooh, I'm strength-based. I could use those. I have more strength than them. They don't do anything.
It's
for
the
me.
end, but I don't want it to be the end. So I'm gonna do, how many credits do I have? 4,820 divided by 300.
Perfect. That should be a good amount for the crew, even for those who are suffering on credits. Because unfortunately, the Mandalorians are a little tapped out.
Yeah.
It's on planet at the moment. They're still like part of your briefings is kind of getting connected with the others of the Mandalorian space, kind of this Mandalorian empire that you've carved out, and they're going to be sending out resources and other ships that they can spare out to help Mandalore. Mandalore, the planet, I should say. But the planet itself right now, it's all of their credits are going into reconstruction. A lot of their credits are going to kind of getting the energy shield back up to 100%, getting kind of the factories rechurning, sending out weapons, materials, medical supplies, like everything they need to do to get their civilization back on track.
That's fine. I've actually still got 7 med packs, apparently.
That's fantastic because I have 19 now.
Wait, Tegan, are you saying Mandalore, as in the people, are broke? Mandalore, as the planet, is broke, and Mandalore, as in the leader, is broke.
So, yeah, I inherited a terrible economy.
Yeah.
I would like to blame
Who would have guessed that
predecessors.
Mandalore the Exalted spent all the money?
Yeah, right. Do I get to sell his armor? I'm kidding. That's
kind of messed. Well, Val messed it up pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna buy 10 power packs because I need ammo. That's how times are tough, boys.
Oh, wow! I didn't even think about that. Do you want some of that enhanced ammo, or do you have to search for it? Like, how much does that cost? I get you some.
Oh gosh.
I didn't even think. Like, I kind of want to balance it out. Maybe we can get some extra firepower. So, be it grenades or some of the fire energy cells that you have, where you shoot somebody and they're on fire. I like that.
Hold on. Well, I forgot how much.
Because I have ideas. I have a power now called convulsion, and I can cause people in a 20-foot square to basically go prone. And then they're also in difficult terrain. So you light that on fire and...
Oof.
I'm gonna be real, I don't need to worry about ammo. Mine uses a power generator instead of a power cell. I can shoot for 10 minutes straight.
I love that you just, all right, I'll just get the biggest gun. I'll put the ammo pack on my back, and I've got this giant metal shield for good measure.
Yep.
Yeah, you're a hell of an operative.
Oh, I love Pugnancy so much.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to buy the regular old power cells and call it a day because I can't. They're 10. I can buy 10. So there we go. Credits, zilch. But I get 10 of those. I mean, the ammo is expensive. It's like $275 for just a straight up incendiary cell, not even premium. So it's...
Yeah, but I mean, that cell gives you an entire reload for your weapon.
No,
Reload amount.
The issue with that is that's no. Look at you, Tegan, doubling it up. You want it to be 4? I'm happy with 4. It's 2.
Is it only 2?
Yes, it's 2 shots per power pack because I got the PKG and I essentially sawed off the stock, sawed off the end of it, and made it a one-handed weapon.
Oh yeah, the mini BKG is 4. I forgot you got the real BKG.
Yeah, I got the real
Just
one.
one-handing it. Yeah.
All right. I don't know. 275 credits a shot is kind of
for 2 shots. It's not worth it. I will buy my.
I think we could sacrifice 5 med packs.
No, that's cool. I have 20 shots now.
Dude, I don't know, but
I will get into melee range.
26 med packs seems a little overkill. So until we wish that we
I
had
don't think
med
that's
packs,
No,
overkill.
says the man with like 3 characters in the grave now, or is it 4?
he can make it 4. Okay.
It is not overkill. I promise you, we need that.
I know who to heal, and it's not him.
So Val doesn't really know this whole leadership thing. So he's going to do the only thing he can think to do, and he's going to spend 6,000 credits on whatever vibro weapons he can find. He's just going to be like toting a bag, like a bunch of just like vibro rapiers, double blades, just like putting it on the ship. Like he's like,
dude, that's like 27 med packs, 20 med packs. That's so many med packs. Maybe we could upgrade them. We could turn them into better med packs, like premium level.
Hard the shaved ones.
Let's say
my bad.
He buys he buys a few med packs. Let's say I'm gonna how much is a med pack?
300 per.
Oh my, I don't know about that now. I'll buy like 5 med packs and then the rest.
They better stay healthy. The hell with that.
Well, we clearly know who cares the most about this group.
Yeah, right. Apparently, the
Not
Sith
me.
the Sith is the one that has empathy because he's buying med packs.
It's not me. They're all for me. See,
Oh,
you
there you
thought
go.
I was going to share.
Malachi wrote his name on all the bags.
Yeah, right.
Sim's over here opening his wallet and a space
these-
moth flying out.
These are all mine. Action, bonus action, both med pack.
Would Sim have any bonus from having a? Oh, this is a two-handed weapon. Never mind.
We're not level 12, so I don't get the feat. So I could one-hand, two-handed items.
Yeah.
I tried. I asked. I don't. Unfortunately not.
All right, then never mind. Because I have an enhanced vibro claymore that we snagged from a Trandoshan forever ago.
That would have been cool to one hand.
It's a plus
the
one.
first session for occupation.
Yeah. And it's sitting there in a scabbard because I don't know what to do with it.
I mean, Sim will take it if he ever needs to drop the shield and use a bigger weapon than what he's got.
Because the fixed lets you.
Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, no, I really like the idea of he's just got a cannon on. Oh, he's just got a cannon on his arm that he can just point, while also being able to use a melee weapon. Like his hand is free. You just gotta make a fist.
Yeah, jeez. All right, well, I've already got a blade, so yeah, if you want an enhanced vibro claymore, I'll remove it from my
With
inventory.
fixed, you can't use the weapon that's fixed while your hand's full.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess that's in case you ever get crowded, I guess.
Kind of, but not. It's a little bit weird how Sim works in melee because he's got the shock whip. He's built in a way that makes sense to me.
All right. Well, if you want it, it's yours. I'll delete it from my inventory.
I will take it.
All right. There you go.
I'll give everybody. I'll give everybody one med pack.
I now have 8. That's fine. It's more than I had. I ain't mad.
Do you want to divvy the 7 plus 19, 26 med packs out semi-evenly?
Jeez. Okay. Yeah, that's plenty to keep everybody on their damn feet.
Okay,
That put me at 14. I guess I can just be a medic.
I'll do quick maths. Hold on. 26 divided by 4 equals 6.5 per person, but we're only going to give 3 to Sin because he's just gonna die. Can we give him a nickname? Conduit. It'll make more sense.
This one will live unless I get round 1 crit dismembered into decapitation.
When you die, it won't be Tegan's fault.
I've already lost 1 character to your life.
Yes, I know. Don't make me. Don't listen.
I forgot about that for C4. I forgot.
Listen, C4 had it coming.
That is okay.
To be fair,
we can all agree about that one.
he's named after an explosive. I mean, you were looking for that one, brother.
I can't remember. He's died. Yeah, he's died even before that, technically.
I mean,
Perfect. You guys are able to grab your gear, grab kind of whatever you need to do is to find the station, restocks, refuels, repairs, and prepares itself for its next engagement. You're able to assemble your fleet, this ragtag bunch of mercenaries, droids, refugees that have you assembled under your banner, and make the jump to hyperspace. pretty uneventful journey. It's time for you guys. It's time for you all to prepare, kind of ready yourselves as you approach this kind of fateful encounter. But eventually, the days pass, and you revert to real space, and you see just this swarm of friendly ships. You see Jedi starfighters. You see stolen Republic hammerheads spouting the rebellion symbols and kind of across their bow. You see Hapen dragon ships kind of marring the space. You see this kind of alliance that has been brought to bear. And you do see kind of one ship in the center where they're calling and kind of ordering or requesting that you guys take a shuttle over and dock within to meet with Supreme Chancellor Oveno and the others. We were able to be kind of guided aboard this kind of Republic hammerhead, and you see kind of soldiers, mostly kind of still were sporting Republic gear, but you definitely see they put like their own symbols on it, kind of really trying to classify themselves outside of the Republic, who has turned traitor and allied themselves with the Yuzon Vong. Eventually, you are led to this conference room where you see a number of people within. You see Lord Gallivan sitting in one side of this long table, flanked by two Sith kind of just glowering behind him. You see that he's kind of leaned back with a cup in his hand as he smiles upon you as you make your way within. Near the top of the table, you see Supreme Chancellor or former Supreme Chancellor Oveno, this Mon Calamari, former General of the Republic, back into his military garb. You see him standing there, bulbous eyes swiveling to see you, as he is just kind of. You see he's definitely in the middle of a pitched discussion as you arrived, and you see just dozens or about a dozen other people as well, mixture of Republic soldiers or former Republic soldiers, Hapen ambassadors, and all of the rest. As you filter into the room, and you see Oveno looks and goes, "We're just waiting upon one more to arrive, and then we can begin this discussion." And as you kind of see that, and one last person does filter into the room, and for Vars, it's a friendly sight for you. You do see Dr. Dici filter into the room. Well, Malik, Victus, how does Dici look after this year spent in the lab?
Well, he's definitely got some sun this time. He's not so pale. No, I'm just kidding. He's pale as fuck. He's paper white. He's definitely not gone outside. He has very much since you last parted ways. Tegan, you could likely speak better to this, but I would say maybe gone through the ebb and flow of what was going on with the Republic support and non-support, ties to Zerka, and doing everything that he could to kind of stay on the side that was for keeping us, the galaxy, alive and not in support of the Vong. But he's worked tirelessly to give us, the galaxy, the greatest edge that we possibly can have, in every way possible. But yeah, he looks tired, which is normal. Maybe a little less anxious than he used to be. Maybe a little bit more go-getter in his step. Maybe an updated jacket with a couple of stains on it, a couple crumbs as he just finished eating something because he realized he hadn't ate probably in 48 hours before coming here, and then realizing that his friend Vars, now Mandalore, is also here. So there's a lot to take in the weight of this summit as well, where he is going to potentially be, just guessing, front and center.
You do see kind of filtering in behind Malachi Talus. You do see Zerka chairman Zhang Oro appear, the one who had gifted the Defanda Station crew their station. You see him kind of walked in, elaborate, just ridiculously expensive robes kind of flowing behind him as he kind of makes his way into the room. And you see Oveno goes, well, it looks like we have all that we need to begin. After the Defanda Station crew rescued me from the clutches of the Yuzon Vong, I met back up with my contacts in the Republic. Supreme Chancellor Avon has done his best to purge my allies that did not flee to the rebellion after I fell. But there are still some who realize that his actions are unjust and are willing to oppose him. The Supreme Chancellor has invited the Yuzon Vong and the being they call the Supreme Overlord to Coruscant in a gesture of peace and friendliness. I propose that we use this meeting, this area where we know that their supreme being, this one they hold an almost religious like zealot, we use it to kill the Supreme Overlord. We use it to send a message that we will not bow, that the fight is not lost from our galaxy. We have an extra addendum to the plan after that, but I do want to hear what you, especially the Defanda Station crew, those who have been fighting for so long, think of this.
Well, any of you want to jump in, or
Malachi will kind of just put a hand on the table. Sooner rather than later, Oveno. We're open to all ideas that can end the destruction of the Vong as soon as possible.
Whew.
That is good to hear. With this, you can see hologram pop in. Our intelligence, we've been able to insert a droid within Supreme Chancellor Avon's retinue, who was able to get sight of the specifications for this dreadnought that will be bringing their Supreme Overlord. It is a massive world ship near in size, but very well armed. Our proposal is we put some of our forces, sneak you on to Coruscant to put you into position, and then once the world ship makes its presence known, we do two things. First, we kill the Supreme Chancellor Avon, take him out, and make sure that he can no longer spread his hate, spread his capitulating nature among our republic. And then after that, we send a small crew to infiltrate the world ship and eliminate their Supreme Overlord. While this is going on, we will launch every ship that we can bring to bear into Coruscant to fight off the Yuzon Vong, to fight off the Republic, those who've betrayed the Republic and followed Avon, and hold them off until the Supreme Chancellor is dead, until the Supreme Overlord is dead, and the chaos reigns. Because
I'm
his
not.
eyes look amongst the group.
I'm not against taking out Avon whatsoever. But are you sure this is not personal, Avena?
I would be lying if I said it was not. But he is a traitor to the Republic. He is a traitor to our galaxy. He deserves a dishonorable death.
You're goddamn right.
Well, I have no other questions. I agreed with you. I just
Sim will, Okay, to give it from his perspective, he's currently in the room with some of the galaxy's most influential figures right now. Former Supreme Chancellor Mandalore, member of the Dark Council, Val, and more.
Val with the 17 titles that we
So,
can't remember.
right now, he's absolutely terrified to speak. To anyone else right now, he's silent and standing there menacingly. In reality, he's terrified because he's surrounded by all these important people. But to kind of show, the fact he's agreeing, despite his lack there of speech, he raises his hand that has the blaster. And he grips his fist and lets it like rotate a few times with big meaty ka-clunks, ka-clunk, ka-clunk as it rotates. He's ready.
You see kind of like his kind of the Tolan head tails flickering. You see kind of near the corner of the room, he steps out a little bit. You see the Jedi Master, Paulo Grok, the group it interacted with when Horus was still amongst them. And you see his head tails kind of a little bit like definitely discomfort. And you hear kind of his soothing voice goes, "Well, assassination is not the Jedi way. We do believe that Supreme Chancellor Avon should be removed from power. If the Jedi are sent after him, we will take him into custody. But in this dire moment of the galaxy, we will not force our ways upon the rest."
That's why you're not going to be taking him into custody.
You even hear Galvin pipe up and goes, "Yeah. I mean, the man stabs you in the back, takes your republic, and you just want to put him in timeout. That's why you guys were losing the war. But it seems quite interesting to me. The chance to take out their overlord and a chance to kill a republic chancellor? I mean, how many opportunities does one get for this?"
Just this one, it seems, Lord Galvin, and we will take full advantage of it. I think we have a majority in agreement. Val, how do you feel about this?
Val just kind of shrugs. Val does not kill traitors. Val simply removes their arms and shames them. But there is no honor in that for Val, so you do what you do.
Did Val ever share the whole, by the way, there's a buttload of Vong that totally want in on this?
Yeah, did Val ever bring the rest of that?
We'll have an in-game moment in the final session, and then all these Vong just show up, and we're like, "Oh shit!" And they're like, "Oh no, you're good, dude. We're on your side." Oh.
Yeah, so Val would have literally, like, in passing, like, we're like literally sitting down for breakfast and just being like, yeah, Val has friends that will join us. The honorable Vong shall fight with our side. And then he'll just kind of like turn as if he's like going to get some ketchup.
I imagine that we would have had a bit more of a informative back and forth after that versus cool story, man. Yeah.
Also, I want to briefly mention, because it was putting some stress on the shoulder, I took off the arm right as Val says he takes off the arm.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was
Not planned, but worked out. So does Vaughn want to deliver I'm sorry, does Val want to deliver news or?
Yeah, so Val will just be like, ah, Val has one more friend that we shall bring to the fight. Uh, the Vong, the shamed ones, as they are called, they shall fight with us. Let me know when and where, and I shall ask them to come. And then he'll be like, but don't worry, Val has brought their armaments for them.
You see kind of a lot of the room's jaws kind of kind of drop a little bit, but you do see a little bit of concern, especially as you look to the Zerka corner, and you see the chairman saying Oro kind of step up and goes, "Well, that puts a complication amongst things. Our Dr. Dici has developed a weapon that I'll let him explain, but how much do we value these shamed ones? Dici, inform him of your breakthrough." You're muted.
So Talus kind of like squeaks his chair back across the floor, the whole as he stands up. And he looks over to Vars. Vars, or should I say Mandalore now, huh? I guess I should thank you for proving even miracles can happen.
Nice to see you too, bud.
Yeah. It's been a while. Still, I'm not here to congratulate you on your shiny new title. And you and I both know that the Vong don't care who wears a title or leads a fleet. They want us all dead. Or worse.
Mm-hmm.
We've got something that might tip the scales. And we call it the Scar Remover. It targets the Vong where it hurts the most. And I'm talking a total neural collapse. Days, maybe hours after exposure. But there's a catch. 3 out of the 10 times that we've tested it, the virus has mutated. And when it does, it starts infecting our own. No tampering, no Vong sabotage, just blind, carking chance. I need you to hear me out. I don't trust half the fools in this summit to understand what's at stake. We were there at the beginning. And the other half would probably turn this into another excuse for infighting. And he kind of looks at Malachi. You, though, you'd actually do something with it and something about it. If this works, Mandalore, it could save the galaxy. And if it doesn't, I'll be the first one to stop it. You know me. I've come too far to let this mess blow up in our faces. But if anyone's going to stand with me on this, it's you. And then Talus just takes his seat.
So, nice to know you've been really busy.
So you have no idea.
So, my understanding is some of the time this thing will mutate and infect members of this galaxy. There is.
Yes, that's correct. There is a chance.
It's not worth it then.
Siovino pops up and goes, "A way to remove all of the Uzon from our galaxy, these beings who don't have peace or civilian in their repertoire. One one weapon that can take them out, I believe it is worth a risk.
Val pipes up and goes, Val has seen the Yusong Vong. Val knows they are of honor. Does this weapon target only those who are old enough to carry a blade?
You see Oviedo just, he cocks his head. You see, like, he just looks at you for a moment before the Zerka chairman, Zangoro, goes, Valid is a virus. It doesn't, Dr. Dici, correct me if I'm wrong, but it knows nothing outside of finding a new host and spreading. It would kill everyone that bears the Yuzon Vong genealogy and lack of metachlorians.
Exactly. And the thing of it is that while the chance of the mutation is present, that we would be able to stop it. Now, granted, if it went in the wrong direction, lives will be lost. But many lives have already been lost, and many more will be lost if we fail. This weapon is an assured victory that comes at great risk.
Val has joined this cause because the Yusong Vong have killed those who do not wield a weapon. Val does not agree with the Mandalorians in their butchery. Val does not agree with the Sith who have bombed planets. You bring a weapon that even the Yusong Vong themselves would be hesitant to use. And you ask Val to be okay with this? Oh, I think we lost it. I think so.
Damn, that was such a good. Dang him. While I'm waiting for Tegan to jump in, briefly, Sim will add, I stand with Mandalore and Val.
The thing is, we're still live.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's back.
He's
Yeah.
back.
Hey.
It did the thing it does half the time where, like, it switched me from Ethernet to Wi-Fi back to Ethernet. So I think I missed like half of Val's speech because I got to like the Sith and then it cut out.
Yeah.
He was just trying to humble the great Dr. Dici. But it's okay. Just
Yeah.
It's
No,
all right.
just-
I was really feeling it before it cut out.
Yeah, no, I would just bring spice if I wanted to do that.
no, you would bring spiders actually.
All right.
Drop the absolute line of you bring a weapon that even the Yusan Vong. Do you want to say it actually? I don't want to steal the line
sorry.
from you.
Sorry, yeah, I don't know. Off the top of my head, but yeah, so the Sith bombs planets, the Republic are deceitful, and yet you ask Val to bring a weapon that even the Yusong Vong would be hesitant to use.
It seems that you know a lot more about these Vong than perhaps even I do. Someone who's been studying and learning all about their technology and came up with this last resort. I mean, you have friends, Vong friends, who are going to come to the fight. Now, while I find it very intriguing that you have an entire group who is willing to come to this fight, good on them for growing a conscience. We didn't know that they had one. I think that you cannot speak for the entirety of the Vong, Mr. Val, with all the titles I can't remember.
You see Master Palo speaks up for Val, and he goes, while he may be a servant of the Hutts, an assassin, this one speaks with truth. We cannot condemn an entire species to death just for our own safety. That goes against the Force itself.
Talus just kind of not really rolls his eyes, but just like deep breaths and shakes his head. You don't understand. You are attempting to think that our enemy is like us. They are not. I know what you're saying, and I agree. Just there are multiple rights here. You're right, and I'm right. The Vong need to go, but there will be no peace. There is no peace. He'll look at Val. He'll look at Val. They help us, and we defeat the Overlord without using this weapon. What of the remaining Vong? Do we coexist? Have they said anything about our future? Have they made promises of what the galaxy is after that? Do they stick to one planet? What do we do?
Sim will
Help me,
actually
Force.
speak up.
Val finds it entertaining that you suggest that if the Yusong Vong were gone, there would be peace. Will the Republic and the Sith make peace? Will the Mandalorians capitulate to make peace? There is no peace in this galaxy.
That might be so, but
To
that is
quote
a
Mandalore,
devastation of normal proportions. That is a ever constant galactic threat that has been going on for as long as most of us can remember, and yet it is nothing comparable to the fact of look at this table, look around us. We have a Lord of the Dark Council, two of them present here. The Dominion. We have a new Mandalore, my friend. We have people sitting at this table that technically should all hate each other. We have conflicting ideologies. We have the Jedi and the Sith working together against a common threat. Yes, when it's all said and done, we will go back to our normal local galactic struggles. I'm not trying to make it seem small, because it wasn't when it was happening. But this is a bigger threat than anything that we have ever encountered. And I have dedicated myself this entire time to coming up with this. And whatever you decide, ultimately it is what we will do. But I am an ambassador for this galaxy, and I speak for everybody that wants to live and not worry about turning into one of them.
I think we all need to take a moment and consider. Supreme Chancellor, former, current, depends on who you ask.
I've retaken the title of General.
General it is. One thing that you're not considering is if we deploy Dichi's weapon against the Vong on Coruscant, the most affected will be the citizens of Coruscant. And it's one of the densest planets in the entire galaxy. Millions, tens of millions could die.
You do see Master Paolo nod and goes, Coruscant is home to 3 trillion.
A third of that, half of that. I can't speak for the entirety of this war effort, but if we were to deploy such a weapon that Dichi, like the one that Dichi has developed, deploying it at Coruscant would not be the wisest course of action, just for the potential blowback to life.
What are the maybe this is too deep. What are the actual specs of the scar remover? Is it a precise weapon? Can I aim it? Is it a shot? Is it a laser beam that I just shine on somebody from a faraway spot, very precise, and it infects them, and then it spreads by contact in vicinity? Like,
is it airborne?
It's aerosol airborne, yeah. So aerosol then spreads airborne by coughing, everything like that.
So If we
But
were
what
to go ahead.
I guess it's because what's its radius? So let's say a Bong shuttle lands on the top of one of the tallest buildings to meet the um, um, Avon. They meet there, right? Um, and we make it go boom boom on the top of a building. Is that going to spread into the air and fall down onto the populace below?
It wouldn't spread across the planet with just the aerosol, but it would kind of fall to the populace below, and then if any use involved, everybody breathes it, it just continues to spread and spread.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there. I'll let Vars keep on going then, because I wanted to interject so that I had a little bit more of the detail on how the weapon actually functions.
If we were to deploy a weapon like this, and that's on the word if, it'd be better off targeted at Vong world ships. We used some of these tactics when we took Defanda, right? That's the name of the planet. I forget if it's the when we took Defanda by using mining ships to get past the outer part of the world ship's crust hole. I don't know what the right term is, but the exterior, and make it in and have it sort of blow some sort of an aerosol delivery system all the way down until it runs out of power. It would decimate a world ship and keep that sort of problem contained to said world ship.
Zhang kind of speaks up and goes, the infection rate takes a few days before it becomes fatal. So
Yes.
still an airship. If they landed, if anyone left it that had been infected, they could spread the virus along with it.
Yeah.
I also want to make sure that I'm interpreting the information correctly. The mutation was that it also affects not only the Vong but also us.
Yep. Any life in the
Is the 30% chance?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I know that I went into this whole thing with death to the Vong. We must get rid of the Vong. But I've spoken with Vong. I've worked with some Vong.
So have I.
I know that. I don't know that we can necessarily negotiate peace. There are many Vong. There are so many Vong. And to destroy them at a cost of potentially 30% or more of our own galaxy's denizens is a hell of a cost to pay.
Does Talus know the status of the other comrades, our old comrades? Like the ones that were infected by the Vong right now?
He would know the status of the kind of the Gardener and Dash. And probably Caesar's death too.
Yeah.
You know, I heard about Caesar recently, and I was actually not surprised at the fact that he goes from being infected by the Vong, doesn't seek adequate medical attention, and goes right back to the battlefield. This is very much a Caesar thing to do, and it pains me to know that he's no longer with us. But we have 2 more friends who are, and they are still recovering, and they're doing good. I'm seeing to the recovery myself. But a 70% chance. Now, I agree. Perhaps we can change the playing field, and it doesn't have to be deployed on Coruscant. But the risk is worth it, and the mitigation can occur. Very beginning of this meeting, we named a person that needed to be taken out. I'm not the person here that's going to create the strategy. I am the person here that is giving you an option with a very high percentage chance of success, with a very, very risky chance, while low, with catastrophic consequences that I have promised to mitigate as best as possible. But I am telling you that it is worth it. I would not play this game of chance if I didn't have that confidence.
Val has a
70%
question.
chance to end this in less than a week. How long have we been fighting? How many people have died? How many people could be living right now if I had come to this, figured this out weeks ago, months ago?
Val wonders, you want to use a biological weapon against the Vong. Val is no scientist, but Val does know that biology is something that the Vong is very good with. So if you've created this, why have the Vong not already done this to us?
Because the Vong take from everything and adapt it into their own. You don't get to
No.
stay as you are, Val. You become them. You become infected. You were there. You were at the mission. You saw and he points over at Vars, you saw our former teammates and what they did to them. I am still helping them. I am still picking coral out of their bodies, out of their brains. If you fail, this is what we become. And you've seen it firsthand. Your friends, whomever they are, what this sect of Vong that have sided with you, that they have no weapons in this army, and you bought all their what? It's besides the point. I have created a weapon. It is your choice to use it. I've said my piece.
Val did bring up a very good point. Weren't they, aside from, I'm sorry, just to refresh my memory, weren't they trying to take the research from Saberbreaker forever ago?
They did. So I don't know if Dichi mentioned it, but the chairman did mention the Metachlorian research. So this is based. It's based off of the Saberbreaker research.
Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, I can throw that little bit of a detail in there and say that it is based off that. So the I'm just talking as myself, y'all. The technology is aimed at targeting organisms or creatures that do not have midichlorians, based off of that Saberbreaker research that we got on Merc.
But
Does Dichi mention the Saberbreaker research?
Yeah, I would like to say that I had. I completely forgot that in my very emotional speech. I missed you, bro. Anyways, I created this weapon that can just fuck up the bomb.
By the way, I made the COVID for the Vong, but you might get it too. Yeah. No, my concern, I mean, you're going to bring it up, so be it. But by the way, Jedi Sith, the Republic was trying to figure out how to kill you guys. And we went along with it too. We're like, yeah, that's some good credit, buddy.
You actually bring that up?
I mean, you did. If you mention Saberbreaker,
I will. As far as Saberbreaker is concerned, okay, here we'll say exactly what I said. The research that I have conducted very meticulously to get as refined as we have to this metric is based off the Saberbreaker research that we recovered on Merc. And I'll just kind of like eyeball some Republic people and that's about it. But this is a reverse of what was trying to be done. This is, while that would have been catastrophic, it was a blessing in disguise that I found it. And we'll just tie that in with all the other stuff that I said before. Hey, it's good to see you, Vars. By the way, Saberbreaker, blah, blah, blah.
So Lord Galvin kind of leans forward at this and he goes, Saberbreaker? You've developed the Scar Remover, which does the reverse of Saberbreaker by targeting creatures without metachlorians. Saberbreaker would target those with metachlorians. Probably an abundance of them.
I don't know my my threshold of maneuverability here, Tegan, on what I can say as DG and what I know, but just tell me to stop if I'm wrong.
Varzel can. I mean, if you want to.
Well, I was just gonna say the 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 Saberbreaker research has been under my control. It has been in my hands. It has not left my hands. I have been given full control again and have full responsibility over that research. And what I can tell you is that it is under a significant layer of encryption that even your best would take days to decrypt. That information will not ever see the light of day again. The weapon that I have created.
You've made a virus to hunt down your superiors. No. I stand with Val. We're not going to use your little toy. We will fight the Vaughn. We will burn them from the galaxy with saber, blaster, and lightning. Inferior beings using science to try to corrupt their betters.
Ichi just doesn't say anything. He's just like,
Lord Galvin, if the Dominion could figure out a way to poison wines that only went to the Republic senators, they probably would have done it years ago, right? Let's not forget, a few years ago, we would all have been each other's throats in this room.
Well, yes. We'd poison the wine either way. We just wouldn't drink wine for a while. But can you not breathe for a while, Vars? Is that something? I know you've got your best gargon, but I don't think that'll last you for the rest of your life.
I know. You're absolutely right. But what I'm trying to say is, before the Vong arrived, we were all looking at different ways of besting one another in different methods, through spies, manipulation, warfare, etc. Don't begrudge them. Not to mention, this whole midichlorian thing would have targeted the Jedi too. Let's not forget, Uveno had some history with Force users in general. What I'm trying to say is, a few years ago, we wouldn't be speaking, we'd be fighting. We're talking now. Let's move forward as a group.
You see Master Paolo, he looks surprised. Not angry, but definitely disgruntled. Like, you can tell he's keeping his Jedi calm, but he definitely looks shocked and irritated, for lack of a better word, about this new news. And he goes, I do agree with your point, Mandalore. We do need to keep together through this. The dust may settle once we've eliminated this threat, but for now, we need to stay together and continue to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. I propose we put this to a vote. To Fonda Station, you've done miracles with bringing the rest of the galaxy together. We will allow you to vote first to see how we should handle this. Should we beat the Vong through military might, partnering with the shamed ones to see if we can conquer them after conquer those who have continued the fight against us after killing their supreme overlord, or should we deploy the Scar Remover?
Dichi, you're good at math. What's 30% of the population of Coruscant?
And I overstated.
I hate you.
3 trillion and 1 trillion, so there'll be 330 million or 330 billion.
330 billion.
I will because I'm a realist. I will actually add even more to that and round up instead of down. So what was that? 300 billion you said? So I'll say approximately 400 billion potentially.
Maybe.
However, with potential mitigation in play, I predicted I could take another 25% off that number, and I know that that's not pretty. But again, this is a 30% chance that this occurs. 30% chance, 70% chance, and again, it doesn't have to be on Coruscant. You guys, you have all made solid reasons for why it should not be deployed in the core of our galaxy.
Yes.
It's understandable. And I don't think I ever intended to deploy it in Coruscant. I think that was an assumption that somehow got brought up, and I just don't know. I don't agree on deploying it in Coruscant. But I do not know where, once we deploy it, those that are infected will go to next. And I will not be able to know if it is a mutated version of it until there is direct human contact or direct local galaxy contact.
Yeah. Maybe some of you might accuse me of having a soft heart, but I can't, in good conscience, vote on the death of potentially 300 to 400 billion. If any of you disagree, say so, but not
What
like
was
that.
the population on Ethor?
Ethor, before being conquered, still a smaller planet, but still pretty substantial. They had about 10 billion.
10
A
billion.
little over Earth levels.
Massacre of 10 billion. We saw. It's just unfathomable. And yet, we are seriously proposing 30 times that number.
Who massacred? This is me asking. Sorry, who massacred Ethor again?
The Yuzon Vulcan. So you guys took it back, but they destroyed all of the herd ships above the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that. I still get a lump in my throat when I think of how many dead Ithorians the Vaughn left in their wake. And then what? I'd kill, like Val mentioned, 10 times that and feel like I'm a better person.
Sim would actually speak up, breaking the silence, and say, "It's 30 times that, Mandalore."
Oh, yeah. I was never good at math. But thanks.
That's why you have me, Vars.
Yeah. Look, it's a very powerful weapon, and one that we might find a better opportunity to deploy it. But on the most populated and densest planets that are in this entire galaxy is not the place to do it.
And I agree. And I wish, and maybe we do, I'm not entirely sure of our timetable, but perhaps if we had a little more time, that I could refine that to something a little bit more comfortable. I mean, I could work night and day, no different than what I've already been doing. But, and Talos will kind of look around the table. 30% is too much for you. What if I can get it to 10%? 10% chance. 10% chance that this doesn't work the way that we want it to.
Something else that Val mentioned that's nagging at the back of my head. The Vong are experts in biomedical. I don't have the words, but they're experts in what it comes to biology.
You think that they'll adapt to this?
Maybe even weaponize it against us.
We've already tested it. Like we said, hours, days. It's a mixed match. We don't know how it'll affect one to the other.
But
Talos is blustering a little bit here. So is that deception for Talos?
Isn't it?
I don't know what my deception would be, but I didn't know I was lying either, Tegan.
It's days, but I mean, you tested in a White Room lab. You're not sure if the Vaughn could turn it against you.
Hold on, I think I misread our information in the White Room test.
I do want to say, out of character, we
Okay,
do have
that's fine.
Master Shaper Nim Yin.
Yes, we do. I totally have that. I got that pocket. Like, it might just like, what if you had a Vaughn take a look at it? I don't know.
I mean, if she's been working in vicinity of me, Tegan.
She is not. You've been in a Zerka black site.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that she went to the same Zerka Black site for some reason. I thought that she got put
She's
there
on
and
the
excommunicado from.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah. What does the group decide? It sounds like we've got Val, Var. Or, is Var's made a firm decision?
Vars is not like the idea of potentially killing 300 to 400 billion. Doesn't sit right. Yeah, as much as maybe he just doesn't have a taste for that kind of wanton slaughter. He's a softie.
We could always bring the Shaper out, join the conversation.
I think we know what she's going to want, and it's both A, hey, don't deploy that, and B, let me take a look at that. That seems interesting. It should be noted that Sim is against deploying it right now.
By the way, Vars will kind of mention to Sim, like, sorry for dragging you into this.
Sim will just very quietly say to him, I am so intimidated.
Yeah, you'll be all right. I know that most if not all of you know that we have a prisoner of some importance in our custody on the Fonda station. Believe it or not, she's been quite agreeable. It seems that her passion lies with tinkering more than the Vong's ideology, being taken alive and without anything resembling a struggle when we did capture her. And maybe she'd be able to provide some insight in this. I know that it's difficult to trust what a Vong might have to say about it, considering it's a potentially genocidal step for her species, but are any of you against us retrieving the Master Shaper and MEN and seeing what she might have to say about this?
Yes, I am. However, if they can provide any sort of insight and you trust them to tinker with what I have created.
I don't know about all that. Next thing you know, we've got the reverse of it, attacking midichlorians, and it's let loose on Devon Station.
We won't give her the materials to make any sort of modifications. I'm just thinking way into the future here of what I would do and how I would. Has Talus ever interacted with a Shaper before? We didn't fight a Shaper. No, we've never fought a Shaper.
She talked at us.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I've never met one in person. Yeah, so Talus is a bit excited at the idea, but also extremely no, yes. I will take every opportunity I can to potentially refine this number to an even lower percentage if possible. Perhaps their insight could make this down to the single digits. What if I told you that it was a 8% chance? A 9% chance. What if I can get it under 10%? One close, as close as I can possibly get it to a 1% chance.
That's a lot of promises, Talus.
That's not a promise. That's an attempt. We're how much time do we even have? What's our clock?
Days.
Val will support this if release the weapon in this room. Release the weapon in this room if you are that confident. Val will support it.
You see Master Paolo nod along and says, I agree with the hunter. If we are going to release a virus upon the galaxy, we should be willing to be its first subjects.
Talus will.
Other character, no, I just gotta briefly mention that is one hard ass line. God damn, like you're so confident in it. Let it loose right here.
Okay. Talus will stand up and put his hands on the table. I will test it on myself when I feel that it is ready. Bring this shaper. We will do what we can with the time that we have. I can tell that none of you are in favor of this. I understand your trepidation. I understand. I agree with you. I do. But I also agree that this needs to be used, and it needs to be used now, regardless. We can't contain it. People will die, but the galaxy will be saved. And the Vong will be no more. And they are a catastrophe, the likes of which we have never seen before. And I can't believe that I have to keep on saying that even after all this time. Bring the Shaper. Let me see what I can do in the little time that we have, and perhaps I can deliver it.
If Vars is gonna just stand up for a second to say, I would suggest that we all take a brief recess so we can have this discussion with the Shaper, see what we can find, present those findings, and make a decision from there.
You see General Oveno kind of nod and says, agreed. It is time for us to evaluate what has been said. Come back if you have any additional findings. We will determine and make our plan from there.
And this goes with, well, I will say it. I would ask that none of you make any sort of outward communications about anything that's going on here just yet. I will not do any of the sort, and I would ask if any of you to do the same. We have in our hands a very dangerous and powerful weapon that who knows what assets the Vong have and what capabilities they have to listen in on communications. I just ask you all to play it safe.
You see the rest of the room kind of nod in agreement.
Thank you. We'll reconvene shortly. What am I doing here? Why am I talking to the heads of the galaxy?
Bars. Oh wait, Mandalore, you're doing so great. That's good to see you. Did you shave? Or what do you look like underneath there? It's been so long. You got some cool scars. I can fix that. You got some scars? I got a little bit of Otox. I can give you some Otox. You want some Otox? Fix those wrinkles, man.
I could probably use a tan, same as you.
Shit. Well, no. This takes weeks of isolation to get this white. Come on. Because some Barons are pale as hell. Yeah. If Talus can, since our group is going to have the conversation with the Shaper, he'll send we'll call it an unclassified, hyper redacted version description of the weapon, so it's not given any sort of breakdown of components and composition and whatever is part of the actual makeup of it, but rather like what is a very specific and basic summary of what the weapon is capable of doing, how it is delivered, and kind of aspects of that, so that at least an idea of, hey, can the Vong adapt to this? Can they do anything to counter this at a very basic level could potentially be determined. But following that, the idea would be, okay, if the Shaper is on board and is agreeable, probably with conditions, that then more information would be revealed in a location of sorts where we can be sure that that wouldn't be communicated out, and then it would be very close knit. But if Talus can share that redacted bit of information so that they have that information to go to Shaper rather than playing the telephone game or giving secondhand information or third hand at this point information, that'd be great. Or at least that's what I'm trying to do.
You can definitely do that.
Yes.
I do want to see what your guys' sales pitch is going to be to Nemian. Because she does like her people. She wanted to save herself, but she does like the Yuzon Vong way of doing things. And you're trying to give her a weapon, or help her improve a weapon that would kill her. That would
kill her entire species.
It's okay. So cards on the table. You're the DM, right? No point in hiding it from you because that's adversarial. It's more of a I want to see her reaction when presented with this. It's more of a I'm sure we'll figure it out. To oh my god, they might actually beat us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To add on top of that, so the why Val had thought this through. So I don't know if this is true or not. This is maybe what Val is thinking. Very well could be incorrect. But Val assumes that the Yusong Vong could have created a virus to knock everybody out. They didn't. And that's probably because of their honor value. And you can say, like, they go to planets and wipe people out. They do. But they also have a lot of planets that they don't implant crystals and own everybody. And so that's Val's thinking. Could be very, very wrong. But he assumes that they could have done this a long time ago if this is what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Malachi is not really thinking about it as we're walking to wherever for our short recess and break.
Yeah. By the way,
Malachi,
sorry for potentially turning this into a 3-parter.
Yeah, I talked too much. I'm sorry.
No,
I turned into burger there for a minute.
I'm the one asking for. Hey guys, let's go ahead and take a break and talk to somebody else. We'll come back and talk some more.
Yeah. Oh, that shot's fired at me.
No. Oh, what? No, I'm
No, not you. Victus said he turned into me for a second.
Oh.
Yeah. The long dialogues and waterfall sentences.
Yeah.
I mean, if I
Hey,
wanted,
I had to channel my talents, man.
I mean, if all I want to do is roll dice, I can. There's other places to do that. I'm here for the back and forth.
30%. All right. So
Okay.
as we're walking, Malachi will just kind of be like, honestly, it's not that I want to see.
Man, he cut out at like the worst time because I'm like I'm on the edge of it. Like, huh?
What was your dramatic pause at first?
Yeah. All right. Well,
while we're waiting for him to get back, you guys are eventually able to make it to the prison that you've gotten Master Shaper Nimian cooked up into. A little bit more furnishings that would be appropriate to her after her aid in helping you build the mechanism necessary to get into Mandalorian space. But you see kind of some natural life within, nothing from the Yuzon Vong style, but definitely some plants, some things that could add some hominess to her own room. But you do see the Master Shaper within.
Malachi just got back, by the way, so you left us hanging with your dramatic pause and then disconnect.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. What did I miss, though?
We were just walking and got to Nemian. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Tegan. I'm sorry.
Perfect. You see the master shaper within. You see kind of these intricate swirls indicating her tattoos and kind of the prestige that she has amongst the Yuzon Vong or seven-fingered hand. And you see her kind of tending just these different kind of ferns, pretty much, that adorn her room. Almost like she's keeping herself busy. How do you guys approach?
Super casual. I
Hey.
take my hood off and remove my mask and just all my masculinities out there. I got nothing, man. What the hell? I follow Vars.
Okay.
I follow Vars' lead.
Oh, man.
Nah, I'm diplomatic, right?
Yeah.
So Val will just kick this off because Val is he's probably excited right now. So he'll just come up and he's not going to give an honorary to her because he doesn't think she's very honorable. So he's just going to go say, Val wants to know, Shaper, why didn't you just kill us all with a virus?
Who starts a conversation like that?
I
just got here.
That's very specific.
He's a Family Guy meme of who the fuck starts a conversation like that? You just sat down.
That's what I was thinking 100%. But no, that's 100% I can see Val doing it.
That's 100% Val. You see, she like no insight roll necessary. She does look kind of surprised by this, and kind of takes a moment for her to kind of reclaim her usual stoicism. And she looks at you and she goes, "Well, there's a myriad of reasons. The first, that is not the way the War Master or Supreme Overlord handle conquest. The gods have said that we need to earn the galaxy through blood and sweat. To use a virus like this as a first resort, that's cowardly. Secondly, viruses once released are hard to manage.
Just trying to not look at Talus really hard. Just trying to avoid.
Talus isn't here.
Yeah.
Is he?
Oh,
Did
I don't know.
did Talus come?
Did he want to come? I thought he
You
did.
could have brought him if you'd like to.
Yeah,
No.
I wouldn't have said
I
no.
don't want to be Talus anymore. I've had
If
enough
it's
people
the
yell at me
conversation,
today.
sure.
I'm done.
It's okay. If it was, by the way, she's the one that made the spiders, and that was that.
Yes.
Can we test it on her?
Just release it into the room.
So Val will kind of close that conversation with just, Val is happy that some along the Vong have honor. And then he'll look and he'll go, Mandalore, you may talk now.
Why, thank you, Val. Never change. First off, hello.
I was not sure if your people met with a greeting, or just posed very obscure questions.
Well, Val's worth so many more titles than what he currently has. He certainly is one in his own. Well, I'm sorry. Regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know if this is like cell to cell or whatever or whatever. Is that what it is? Like an opening to the cell and stuff like that.
So you guys could definitely speak from the outside of the cell, or if you wanted to come in her cell, you're able to do so.
I'm gonna go ahead and invade that space. I'm going into the cell. Is there somewhere for her to sit or for us to sit? I'm guessing there's probably just one chair, right?
And so it is like kind of like it's a little bit like of a bigger room. So not like a big room. So it's like kind of think like two dorm rooms pushed together. So there's like kind of one side where there's like bed, and then some of like her plant life, and then they did give her like a kind of a wooden desk where she can kind of like jot notes and do research type things.
Well, I'm glad you're making the most of your current situation.
Well, it's either rot or work, and I always prefer to work.
I can appreciate that. But there's something that you mentioned to Val that ticked my ear about the very surprise, impromptu question that he posed to you. That you wouldn't use it as a first resort. Is that right? Which implies that it would eventually become a resource you might tap.
The gods only allow that resource when our people are dying and the ember has faded, as a last resort to let our would-be vanquishers go down with us.
Is that potentially how you would describe the state of the galaxy from our perspective at this point?
No, we would use it when our people were essentially dead. It's not a move to win. It's a move to sacrifice everything to the gods.
Mutually assured destruction. So, again. So is it safe to say that your people, currently in their position, have something like that to target the denizens of this galaxy? Or the non-Vaughn?
We've done some musings, but we've not built anything. It is not.
I don't know who I am right now. Insight check. Am I Malachi or Talus?
I think you said you're Malachi. So go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be Malachi. Crap, I got disconnected. Wait, nope, I'm back. There we go. Insight. Where's Insight? There it is. I don't see a roll.
Try refreshing the page. That happened to me too.
Okay.
For like the one very unsuccessful intimidation roll I did.
Well, in the event that it does roll when I pull up, whichever one's higher after I do my second roll, I'll take that one. F. Okay. Do you see it now?
Yeah, I see a 10.
Oh, you do? Okay, I did not see it. So 10.
Okay. Well, 10.
Yeah. The Master Shaper, especially without being able to read her through the currents of the Force, just seems inscrutable.
Okay. Well. I appreciate your honesty, at least what I hope is your honesty in that regard. That you would eventually put something like that to work. What would the Vaughn do if, let's say, our blasphemous technologies somehow produced a weapon a virus that targeted the Vaughn? Eyeing her very carefully right now.
So
Malachi, too.
She looks at you and says, "First, the hunter asked about viruses. Now you seem very fixated upon viruses. The Vaughn, my people, are not in a position to release one. Are you blasphemous machines trying to churn one out? Is this why you've come to my cell?"
Yes.
You see, she spits and she goes, "I thought you all had a sense of honor. The leash abomination, a biological abomination created by a laboratory into the galaxy?"
You misunderstand our questioning. We are asking exactly what Val was asking Is there a mutually assured destruction in play? This is not a red button that we are willing to push without any sort of thought. And take that into consideration with the fact that we have come to you to ask, and we are hoping for transparent and forthright answers regarding the very serious nature of what is potentially capable of occurring here. They are trying to avoid it. I will tell you, I could care less about the honor that you hold so dear to your heart. I would love to watch the skin peel off of every Vong that I can. And yet, I will ultimately side with whatever the majority decides, which right now it looks like we don't want to do that. But we do want to know that when we had this option, that our enemy also had that option, and the honor, again, that you hold so dear held you back from deploying it against us. And the honor that you're calling us out on right now also held us back from deploying as much. We just need questions. And your answers right now, assuming that they are truthful, and it's just cold, dead eyes staring into her scarred face and all that. Assuming you're telling us the truth, you really have nothing to fear. But the Vong will end. The threat of you will leave this galaxy one way or another. It doesn't need to be a virus. But we do need answers right now to really make a very important one on our side. Your cooperation is nothing but necessary right now.
You see, she glares back at you and goes, ask, question. I'll answer if I may.
Well, reason we're speaking to you is, from what I understand, you have no way of communicating back to the Vong in any way, so I will be upfront. No duplicity on my end. We have such a virus. Our own scientists in our own laboratories with these blasphemous things made of metal and glass have concocted what could be the very doom of the Vong. But here we are, talking to you, instead of gassing you with it. Because we're not monsters. We're not butchers.
No, you need my expertise. You're
Attention.
afraid.
Afraid.
Very poor choice of word right there. We are not afraid. We are trying to refine it to be more accurate, to take out the enemy that needs to be gone. Now, I want the entire Vong, but I'm willing to compromise on a freaking overlord that is coming to the galaxy and their entourage. And then we can handle the rest after that when you cut the head off of your entire whatever you are. We'll work with the aftermath of that. But I just kind of look at Vars and I just turn towards the wall and pace.
Okay. Maybe I'm looking too far ahead. Or maybe I'm optimistic. Who knows? But would knowledge of the existence of such a weapon in the ownership of this galaxy's hands, would that give the Vong anything resembling pause?
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh boy. Let's...
Guidance. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't get guidance.
Let's...
That's a light side ability. We don't use those.
We don't do that. Not with our hooded Sith boy. Did it show up?
It is not for me. I don't know what's
All
going
right,
on.
refresh them.
Of course, I just refreshed and I got a 20 on the second roll.
So I rolled a 5, a 3, but I'm going to give that a little bit of a boost with my handy dandy persuade. It's not I'm trying to roll it, but it's a D8, right? So did that roll? Nope. Refresh. Man, Foundry's just not happening.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with it today.
I'm glad this wasn't a combat heavy session.
Same. Get to refresh each time the die is rolled.
Well, I'm glad that my first one was a 7, making it a 20.
You see, she kind of looks up and she goes, if they know that you have this weapon and you threaten them with it, they will likely begin working on a weapon of their own.
Yeah. I figured as much.
So right now we have the advantage of them not knowing. And we also have, looks at the Shaper, the choice of employment and not. Perhaps there's, if we're not going to go in the direction of using this weapon, perhaps the Shaper here can provide us some insight onto weaknesses of this Overlord and their entourage.
Yeah.
What would the Vong do if the Overlord was taken out?
You see, she kind of looks up and goes, if the Supreme Overlord falls, there's likely going to be a fight for secession. A new Overlord must rise.
So civil war within the Vong, within the galaxy, while they're already at war.
The Supreme Overlord has not named a successor, nor has he allowed any to gain enough prominence to threaten him. There would likely be a war.
All right.
That's still war and devastation and Vong.
Yeah.
And then that's going to get messy. Sides. You're going to have multiple factions. You're going to have Vong making promises to this group of people, the Mandalorians, and this group of people, the Republic, and everybody going which way. That is going to be chaos.
Yep.
Master Shaper, we need a solution that gives the impossible. I'm just going to say something that I could care less if it happens or not. What gives us peace that doesn't involve just giving over the galaxy to the Vong?
Are you asking her what could cause peace without giving the galaxy over? She's
What's
gonna shake.
what's our option? What are the options that give us the result of peace versus continued conflict?
Val,
What can we do that doesn't involve the Vong taking over the galaxy or leaving, apparently, because you left to come here because the other galaxy doesn't have resources? What's our compromise that keeps you from taking over our galaxy, yet being in it and not being a threat?
so Val's gonna pipe in, and Val's just gonna say, Val would say respect. Why did Mandalore agree to a fight for secession. Mandalore could have killed us all. It's his culture and his honors. Why would the Sith allow the Mandalorians to thrive on their own without bowing? If the Mandalorians gain the respect of the Sith, because the Sith have their traditions and their honor. The Yusong Vong have their traditions and their honor. Build a respect among the Yusong Vong, and they won't attack us.
I feel like what I want to say to you, Val, is for a conversation at another time and not in this room, in this audience. But I disagree. There's one word, and that word is desperation. It hasn't been said yet, but desperate is what we are. And we are at a point of making a critical decision. One that I'm in favor of in whatever direction that we go in, as long as it involves Vong dying. But put yourself in a desperate situation, because I'm not sure if you've ever been in one. A point of vulnerability and no control, and you only have one option, and potentially it is the worst possible option that you can choose, but you live. Will you do it, or do you just accept your fate and go away, disappear into nothing? We're at a fork. We have to make a choice. We are talking to the enemy right now, and we need answers. I'm tired of sitting in this room. I'm tired of being on this station. I need to kill something.
Val just points at the Shaper. Be like, then kill the Shaper. She is with no honor. Val does not care. But you say Val has never been in desperation? And yet, how long ago was it that Val had agreed to put his honor on the line in the aid to ensure the Sith showed up to the battlefield? Val gave no strings. He could have been asked to do anything. He could have been asked to kill those who he thought were reverent, those who are the untouchables, those in his society that would shame him to harm. He put it all on the line. Val did that for the betterment of this cause, and yet you say Val has never had desperation? We have been here long enough that you should understand honor is all Val has.
And that is why I would say that it wasn't a desperate situation for you, Val. It was all about honor. It wasn't desperation. It was your confidence, the luck and misplaced confidence that you carry with you that keeps you twirling your blades in battle and cutting down your enemies. Skill, indeed. Honor. Your version. But it's not desperation. You've not been brought low and had to climb and climb. You don't know what it is to suffer. And if you have, I don't know about it. And it's my mistake for assuming that you never have, or that you never have. But right now, we're not talking about our individual selves. We're talking about the galaxy. I'm not desperate for anything except to kill a Vong right now. And of course, I want the galaxy to survive. I'm really tired of this scum. Looks at the Shaper. I do respect you, Val, and I hold your opinions in high regard. You have many of them. Some are very interesting, to say the least. And you have made quite clear your stance today, and I will say that I agree with everybody that said it, from the doctor to you. But we need the answer. We're in the end game. There's no time. There's no time. What are these questions going to get us to? Is there an option for peace? No. Then nuke them. Take them out. If we're not going to do that, then we bring the fight hard and fast, and we give it every single bit that we have. And 30% chance 300 billion people die and it all ends, or we fail and everybody loses 100%.
Now,
It's exciting.
I know that Nemyen has mentioned the whole Vong. There is no potential for peace, but at this very moment, we have a faction within the very Vong willing to work with us to achieve some ends. Eyes on the Shaper as I say this aloud.
Give me an insight check.
Ah, yes,
May I too, please, Tegan?
my other good
Well,
skill.
this one go to Vars, yeah.
My other good skill, along with intimidation. Actually, it's not that bad. Never mind. I was thinking intimidate. And once
Vars
again,
is rolling there. What's Sim thinking with all this?
yeah.
It's a rarity I play such a quiet character, but honestly, for him, he's about to throw up.
What the
I'm
fuck?
like, what do you mean? My man came in like, yeah, I can help you out. I can help you out. And now we're bringing into, yeah, we can wipe them all out with this one, along with possibly a couple billion. It's you know that one image and dog.
Hey.
Oh wait, sorry, cat. I think that's yeah, that's a cat. You know that image in anime where like the eyes are bulging and you're like zoomed in, like the fisheye thing, like, oh, he was prepared for some stuff to go to war. This is something different, and he's quiet right now, and he's terrified.
So can I go back to fixing generators, please, and thank you?
It's like he wouldn't. He's working with Mandalore. There's no greater honor, but at the same time, like, oh goodness.
Yeah. By the way, that was an 8 worth of an insight check on my end.
She's played the game. She's alien and hard to read, definitely inscrutable as you look through there. But you do see her lean in, and she kind of looks and goes, "Who among the Vong would dare raise their hand against the Supreme Overlord?"
Well,
I went to reload or Foundry, and I accidentally reloaded Ninja.
no worries. Whatever. Cards on the table, right? The shamed ones.
The shamed ones?
Yeah.
Malachi will laugh along with her.
Yes. The many, 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 many shamed ones.
As you kind of mention the numbers, you do see a kind of smile fade just slightly, and she goes, "It's less foolish than a virus."
It's less genocidal at the very least. Again, maybe I'm not suited for this whole leadership thing, but I'd like to avoid that level of genocide.
Sim will finally break his silence and just say, I think that's a mark of a good leader that you don't want to wipe out. What is it, like the other half of the galaxy now?
At this point, yes. What are the Vong numbers anyway? Roughly, I don't expect you to have a census on hand.
She can see her kind of like pause for a moment. We came in roughly 120 world ships, filled to the brim, little over 4 trillion.
Yep. That's a lot of souls. Or sentience. I don't know if you guys have midichlorians. I don't know if y'all have souls or how any of that crap works out. Well,
This is I normally wouldn't call myself old-fashioned, but considering the topic, I prefer boots on the ground, fighting, like Mandalorians. And while I'm not known for my honor, I'd rather fight than I'd rather fight than drop a virus bomb on. Yeah, don't think I've said that out loud yet.
You didn't have to. I can. You have to be very, very cold to just opt for a flick of a switch being the end of your problem. And then with that, 4 trillion lives, plus however many of ours it would claim in the process. But you should speak up more. Don't stay silent.
Thank you, Mandalore.
Yeah, no sweat it. Bars as like a how to, what is it? What's that old book called? Like how to make friends and something like.
Oh, how to make friends and influence people?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Light reading for Vars. Celebrate people, yeah. Okay. Well, part of the reason I came to speak to you, Master Shaper and Mien, just to gain a bit of insight and to see how the Vong would react to, well, just the knowledge of such a weapon. If maybe there'd be a route for some level of peace, maybe with the fractions that might come after the Supreme Overlord's death. Maybe a faction within there would sue for peace, or a treaty, something. While we were able to beat back the... By the way, I'm Mandalore now, by the way, in case you didn't know.
I don't know why that kills
Just
me.
drop that
It's like,
now.
oh yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm the leader of my people.
Yeah,
We were.
yeah. Well, we were able to beat back the War Master, but at considerable cost. I don't know how many more Mandalorian lives, I'm going to spend in this conflict.
Val has a solution. Shaper, if Val was to slay the Overlord with this blade, and he'll like pull out his blade, would they follow me?
She looks at you and says, "The shamed ones? Who could say? The warriors, the priests, the shapers, they will not."
We shall see. Val will slay the Overlord, and Val promises you this. The Yusong Vong will act with honor. Will that bring peace? No. But the Yusong Vong will act with honor in the galaxy. Val shall see to that.
Holy shit, dude, you've dropped some hard-ass lines this session, one after another. I know I point it out each time, but it's worth pointing out. God damn!
Yeah. You know, Val.
I've been saving him for 3 weeks, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's you always make such large boasts, but the more I've come to know you, the more I realize they're not boasts, they're promises. Well,
With
I don't.
that,
Mhm.
go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, well, then Master Shaper and Mien. I don't know if, well, it might bring you some peace of mind to know that at least we're not walking out of here advocating for the release of a genocidal virus. At least I know I'm not.
You see she inclines like her head in a bit of a bow of at least acknowledgement, if not respect. And she goes, "That is news I appreciate. It would be a shame to see a galaxy filled of nothing but the dead. Thank you."
Thank you for your time and honesty.
But with that, the group has to come to a decision. How's the group playing? Are you guys?
Yeah, I don't think we're
Either way, you guys get to kill the Supreme Overlord, but are you advocating for the release of the virus to potentially eliminate the Vong with the potential that it could evolve or mutate to come back on the galaxy's own citizens? Or are you going to partner with the Shamed Ones and once the Supreme Overlord is dead, try to see if you could bring a new power within the Vong?
I think personally the second option, because man, oh man, do I not want to be the guy that says, let's throw the virus at him. Oh no, the virus is getting us. Oh geez, oh golly, oh what you? Yeah,
That'd be a way to start off as Man Lord Unifier. Oh yes, unify us all in the grave.
Right? I unified us all in the tomb. We're all dead now. Yahoo! Go team. Personally, that's why I imagine Val's in the same boat.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty self-evident.
Yeah.
I know Malachi seems like he's along for the ride, even though he's like just wants dead Vong. Maybe we'll kill a prisoner. I don't know. Not the prisoner, but maybe a different one. Just scratch that itch.
Perfect. So sounds like the group, because Sim already mentioned that he wants boots on the ground. So
yeah,
the group's aligned with the group's going to align themselves with the Shamed Ones when they try to take when they go to Coruscant and try to take out the Supreme Overlord and overthrow the Vong's current power structure. And that will be our next session. Probably a little bit of a long one. I was hoping we get to Coruscant this session a little bit, but you guys had some very spirited discussion on that one with kind of the ways to go through.
I admired your optimism with that, but nah, man, it's us. We don't know how to shut up.
But that is what our next session will be with taking of Coruscant, assassination of the Supreme Overlord, and potentially the assassination of a Supreme Chancellor even, who's been a menace to you all since Invasion.
Gonna get that fucking nerd.
That is where we'll pick up next Tuesday. So everybody make sure to join us for the finale of Occupation. I think nearly 60 session campaign between Occupation and Invasion. Actually, I think it will be 60. I have to do the math. I think it is 60 with this second one. I think we have 28 sessions about Invasion. So join us for that as we bring this campaign to a close and see how our defenders of Define the Station in the Galaxy come out in this endeavor. So make sure to join us. We'll see you all next time.
Thanks.